What's up, everybody? My name is Wade. You're listening to the weekly InSalt on a very special day for us and a very special day for our guests that are here too.
Yeah.
I have to have them. We'll get to them in a second. Episode 300.
Yay!
Yeah.
You're all fired. Just kidding.
I
No.
can only half clap.
My name is Wade. If you haven't listened before, I'm here with my co-host Laura.
Hey, how you doing, Wade?
Good. It's been a long day.
Yes, it has.
We should just tell them right now that we've been in the studio already for like 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay. It's fun, you know? It's a special day. I'm here with the extreme dictator of sound, Kurt.
That's me.
Hey,
Grand Poobah of sound.
how you doing, Kurt?
Good. How are you?
I'm great.
He didn't want to be in the studio this long, for sure. And Chez, you're joining us today for this special episode. And then we've got Matt and Brandon from the Amusement Park Road Trip podcast. Did I get it?
You got it.
Yes. After 300, I finally
Nailed one.
am almost professional.
On take one.
Yeah, no, let's start over.
No.
Welcome, guys. Thank you for being here.
Thanks.
Sorry it's been a little bit of a rowdy day just because it's episode 300, but I'm happy to have you guys on. We were talking over Instagram. Matt, I was talking with you, and it was a little informal, but I'm glad you guys came because I've tried to book guests that way before, and it's like if I don't respond immediately, they're like, nah, I'm not coming on the show. But thank you for being here.
Oh, we're happy to be here.
We're fans, so
Thanks, man.
There's a little bit of leniency built in.
Okay.
Dude, you gotta be careful because Laura had to give out her autograph the other day.
I
and
did.
it kinda
I did.
go into her head.
My first one.
How'd that go having to sign it left-handed?
It was awkward.
That's a rare autograph.
It is very
The
rare.
left-handed one. Didn't you write one of one on it?
I did, yeah.
Dang, that's crazy.
I think I did hashtag one, number one.
Yeah. So let's get right into it then. Like, what was the inspiration for doing amusement parks? Have you always enjoyed amusement parks?
Yeah. I think it started out as a joke because Brandon and I joked about doing a podcast about bumper cars,
Okay.
and that was really niche.
like
But
it.
it was a joke, and then we decided, let's actually do this.
I bet there's some crazy history to bumper cars though too.
Yeah.
Weirdly.
We've looked into actually doing bumper cars, but as we started and we wanted to be the bumper car boys, and that naturally
That's good.
it naturally turned into like we actually love carousels. And so now we have a segment in each of our shows. If there's a carousel at the park we're talking about,
Yeah.
there's so much history behind carousels, and it's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. And I think that like anybody who lives in Utah knows about Lagoon.
Yeah.
You just know.
Yeah.
Right. The fact that you can bring beer in there is still crazy for Utah. You know?
Yeah. Isn't that all we bring in there when we go? Like
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah,
brings
we don't
like a
bring
whole
lunch or
picnic.
anything. We just bring beer.
No, we're just beer and
Yeah.
And then we sneak off and have a pretzel.
Yeah. Ooh, pretzel. Dang it. At least you moved on from pie.
I know.
Well, they'll hear that later.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, you guys have been to Lagoon. What would you say? I mean, let's start with the history of Lagoon. Would that be a good place to start?
built,
Sure.
place was built in
Sure.
what, the 1600s?
It's burnt down too, right?
Yeah,
I think it
Yeah,
did
the
burn
original.
down. I think I have a picture in my phone. Filibuster for me. I'm going to find it. But it is actually the history of Lagoon, and I think it's awesome to do an amusement park podcast because I love them. Kurt and I have planned trips around. We've talked about planning trips around going to amusement parks,
Yeah.
like the world's longest roller. Where's that one place that you?
Cedar Point?
Cedar Point. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys have been there?
No, we haven't. We actually
Oh.
haven't been to a lot, I would say, but it's funny because each week at the end of the episode, it's like, would we go to this one? And the answer is always like, yes, we would go. And each week it gets better and better. We're
Yeah.
like, man, how did we not know about Silver Dollar City
Oh,
until
my
now?
favorite place.
Yeah.
All water rides.
Really?
Most of them, yeah.
At Silver Dollar City?
Most of them are water rides, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And then we do Dollywood, and it's a beautiful park. We learn about like Knoebels. It's a free park in Pennsylvania. You park for free, you enter for free, you can pay for rides. But
kind of how
That's
Lagoon used to
crazy.
be, right?
I think you can. The Lagoon signs still have ticket numbers on there. Can you? I don't know.
I think you can.
you can still just buy tickets for a ride.
I always wonder
Crazy.
because they put up brand new rides and the new signs, and they still have the tickets on there. And I'm like, who?
You know, I used to
buying
work
tickets?
there back in the day, and I never, even as a ride operator, and during my time there, I was only there for one season, and I never took tickets.
Yeah.
Well, they still make you check your wristband when you go on to every ride.
Oh yeah, you had to check the
yeah.
hand stamps, but nobody came to me and says, "Here are my tickets for this ride." Not once.
I actually think it is applicable to Kiddieland rides because at a certain age, they can get in for free, and then you can buy tickets for them to
That
ride
would
certain
make
stuff.
sense, yeah.
But that's the only time I've heard of it.
1896 was when Lagoon,
Wow.
like the first, well, according to their picture, but they opened with the fun house, the restaurant, the saloon, the shoots, and a dance pavilion. So it's basically just like a park, you know?
It was supposed to be the clean version of a. Oh, I'm blanking. Coney Island.
Oh,
okay.
It was like the
Yeah.
clean Coney
Okay.
Island.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then, of course, everybody knows what it is today. But I think we just found out right before the show. I didn't know this, but Kurt's never been to Disneyland.
I've never been to Disneyland.
What do you got? What are you guys'
Or Disney
opinions
World.
on Disneyland? We'll talk Disneyland. We'll get to Disney World because it's cool.
It's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
We love Disneyland.
hmm
That's our opinion.
Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
Disneyland good.
I think that Disneyland is some place that you have to experience.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like I'd go back there today. If you guys were like, hey, we're going to Disneyland, you want to come with? I'd be like, hell yeah.
Okay.
I gotta go.
Disneyland or California Adventure or both?
I'd say Disneyland. I mean, it's the original. And that's kind of where I think we both kind of really appreciate maybe not the big, I mean, we like the flashy stuff at Disneyland, the big rides, but I could just ride the train for the whole day or explore Main Street. Just the theming and the experience and vibe of it. That's what I really like.
Yeah.
Well, even Lagoon, my go-to ride is the swings. I love the swings.
You do like
Turn of the
I do.
century, good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Swings are fun. And again, coming back to carousels, why are carousels fun? I don't know what it is, but you get on a carousel, it's way entertaining. You're just spinning in a circle.
Totally.
And
But I
going up
think
and
that
down.
comes back to like childhood memories because everybody's been on a carousel when you're a kid, you know, and that was like the easiest way to introduce you to carnival rides or things like that, you know. And I remember going to the 49th Street Galleria when that was still open. They had like the Gravitron in there, which I think today is still one of Kurt's favorite rides.
Only at the state fairs, yeah.
Is it just because it's janky?
Yeah.
You're like,
There's a chance of death.
this thing can fall apart at any time.
It probably has.
That's true. You see those videos sometimes with carnival rides.
Yeah.
It's sketchy.
It is.
But Disneyland was always like a kid thing for me too. Like my parents had taken us. And Universal Studios, I actually liked that more. Like going to Universal Studios because it was more about like film and stuff, and they were showing you more like special effects. They were rides, but you could go in like
Behind the scenes.
the room where like they had the backdraft ride where like everything would light on fire.
Oh, yeah.
Like as a kid, I'm like, this is sweet. You know, like people do this and get paid for it. I want to blow things up and get paid for it.
Yeah, that was interesting. On my honeymoon, we went to Disneyland, and then we're like, let's go to Universal while we're here. And at that point, I did love Disneyland. I'd never been to Universal, and I loved Universal so much.
Yeah.
Because I loved all the behind-the-scenes stuff, the tour, the tram ride and everything.
Yeah,
so.
the tram ride was sweet.
Yeah.
Like seeing they take you down in that underground and simulate an earthquake.
Yep.
You know, it was so cool.
You get jaws popping out at you.
Yep.
Yeah, they're like tell you about how
Man,
many
where's
million.
this stuff at?
Universal Studios, dude.
Oh, I've never been there either.
See, our Disneyland trip, we'll go to Universal too.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just down the street.
You need to
See,
get out more, Kurt.
I went to Islands of Adventure. in,
Okay.
Oh, that's pretty
Florida.
cool. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I've been there.
I've
They
never
had
been
that
to
Spider-Man ride. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About Magic Mountain.
Six Flags.
Yes.
In California.
Yeah.
I've been there a bunch of times.
Okay.
Yeah, and the Six Flags in Texas.
San Antonio.
Yep.
Yeah.
The cool
My
thing
favorite
about
roller coaster ride is there.
No, it was in Dallas.
Oh,
The one in Dallas.
Right.
One I've been to. Those are good. The Six Flags.
that's what like the thing about Disneyland that I always loved as a kid is that it combined like movie and film with an interactive ride. Especially we were talking about that new Star Wars one. I was watching some behind the scenes on that particular ride, and the way that they fit movie magic and stuff like that in with a ride is really cool to trick you into thinking like there's a hologram up there, you know, using I think it's mirrors, but it might just be a pane of glass. You just can't see it from where
Projection
you're at.
mapping.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
It's cool. I remember that specifically the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland being. You go over this balcony and there's a bunch of like hologram ghosts that are dancing around. And as a kid, I was like, I need to know how they did that. And so they kind of like created that mystery, you know. It was cool to see it.
Well, the best is to go at Halloween time and do the Haunted Mansion when it's a Nightmare Before Christmas themed.
Oh, I didn't know they did that.
Oh, it is so cool. You're going through and like they'll pump in like gingerbread smells and.
Yeah. You're touching on a touchy subject right now.
Oh yeah.
Because half the people like that. But during
Yeah.
Halloween, people want to experience the Haunted Mansion, and it's not. It feels more like a Christmas ride.
I see.
But yeah, the gingerbread house that they build, and you can smell it through the whole building. It's awesome.
That's crazy.
I mean, they're both incredible, but I mean,
Then you have to go to Pirates of the Caribbean.
That's my
yes.
favorite.
You have to. The old animatronics, like it just feels weird to be on water in a building. You're like, this isn't right.
Yeah,
It
it's
is
weird.
awesome.
I was just there a few weeks ago for our family trip. It was supposed to happen in November 2020. Didn't happen.
Yeah. It's a rough
You
year.
forget, it's so weird and kind of trippy. You're staring at the pirates, and then you forget they're actually not looking at you. That's not a human soul. Like it's so
It
weird,
is,
and
yeah.
you're like, oh dang, I'm just looking at this lifeless thing, but you buy into it.
Oh,
You're like,
yeah.
that's a person
Yeah.
standing there.
Totally. And I think that's kind of the magic of it, you know?
And occasionally there was a person standing in there.
That's right.
Yeah,
Weird.
Yeah, Johnny Depp used to get dressed up in his Jack
I do-
Sparrow
I
and go
do
hang out
remember
down
that.
there.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
He did
cool.
it a couple times.
yeah.
They
You have
had
a crush on
somebody in
Johnny
a ride
Depp?
Yes, I do.
not long ago. At Small World, someone was a live actor on the ride.
Oh, really?
Did you guys see that?
No.
Oh, is it funny?
Well, the guy, he was tripping. Something was going on. So he stripped down and got onto the ride
I did
in
hear
Small
this.
World. And
Yeah.
That seems like
quite a scene.
a really horrible ride to strip down and get on.
Like
I like the
the worst one.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
pick any other ride,
Full
dude.
of kids.
Full of kids. We were watching
Your
it.
ride.
That's weird, man.
He's walking around the set, and we're like, "Don't touch that! Like that's history right there." And
Yeah.
he's like touching everything
Oh
and
my
walking
gosh.
across, and it's like, please don't break anything."
Yeah, 100%. And that's like, his people have memories of that place their entire life. Like generations of people have been there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I'd still go. I love it.
I mean, Small World's one of those rides you've got to go ride it just for
Yeah.
the nostalgia
You
sake.
have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like riding the roller coaster, the wooden roller coaster at Lagoon. Like nobody really enjoys it.
I do.
I like that roller
Got some good,
coaster.
It's
some good
like-
drops.
It's
Yeah.
basically signing up for Whiplash. It's rickety, man.
No, that's
but we
the-
all have to ride it.
Yeah,
That's
it was-
the wild mouse,
Yeah,
isn't it?
exactly.
Well, the Wild Mouse. We made that mistake 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
man,
can't do
let's
that
go,
one
let's
anymore.
No,
go on
me either.
that. It was bad. We were with some other. There was a kid that randomly got seated next to us, and I was like, "Glad you're having fun, dude. This ride sucks." But it was fun when we were kids, you know. And I think
Yeah.
that's why I never grew out of the amusement park thing, because something about taking a day off of work and just like, who cares? Just go ride a roller coaster, dude. And I know why you like the Cannibal too, is because it hangs you upside down. It really plays off of fear of negative G's, where you're not held in your seat. You're trusting those restraints, you know?
Yeah.
And it's crazy. I do like it too. It's like,
I kept my eyes shut the entire time we were on that ride.
yeah, you missed the best part then.
No, I was scared it was going to break again.
That is a crazy story.
Yeah.
So is your plan eventually to go travel around and do a bunch of amusement park stuff?
We would like to, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as
Yeah.
we make a lot of money with the podcast,
Any moment now that you've been on here, you're going to the top.
to the moon.
Yeah.
What's the first park you go to?
That's a
That's a
good
tough-
question, Dave.
I-
Tough one.
For me, I think I want to go to Silver Dollar City,
I think
Yeah,
it'd be
that's
the
a
same.
great one.
Branson, Missouri.
Mhm. I've been there. It's awesome.
Yeah,
wanna look that
beautiful.
up.
And it's in the Ozarks.
Mhm.
It's beautiful.
Ooh.
And it's
Great
themed.
food.
Yeah.
Yeah, good food. Some old, well, not anymore. They had some really old dark rides, which is really exciting for us. And they've closed it down, but they built a new one that's opening next summer. So
Oh, really?
I'm
Like
excited.
Lagoon, they say we're going to close this ride, but it'll be open again next year. Lagoon announces it 10 years before.
Yeah.
Right? I'm looking at the website for it right now. Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's really cool. I went there when the kids were little.
And
That looks
actually,
fun.
the same people that own Silver Dollar City, they own Dollywood as well.
Okay.
So when Dollywood, before it was Dollywood, it was Silver Dollar City. And then Dolly Parton partnered up with them. So she actually doesn't own the park, but it is Dollywood. So that's another
Huh.
one we love.
Interesting. I think it'd be so fun to go do stuff like that. I
Mhm.
love doing things like that.
Yeah.
Or going to see like ghost towns is kind of in that same thing.
Yeah.
I did go out of my way. For October, we did haunted houses to be on theme. And I went to, my wife and I went to New Orleans just for a trip. And we went out of our way to go check out a haunted house there. And man, it was the coolest haunted house I've ever been to.
Really?
But so I think it's cool. Like maybe we don't have the plans to go and visit specific parks, or it's not part of what we're doing with the podcast.
Sure.
But it does put us into, if we're here, we got to go check this out. For the podcast, right?
For sure, yeah. I'm down with that.
Was it really scary? Like authentically scary?
Man, it was good.
Yeah.
Like we've got some good ones here, but that one, like nothing has touched it. It's called 13th Gate. And, you're in like the scariest place in the U.S., New Orleans, right? And so they
Is it that scary?
What's that?
Is it that
It
scary?
can be.
Okay.
It's pretty scary.
Okay.
But just the history of the place, and they really played off of that and what the lore of the city is. And so I thought it was just really well done, and yeah, it was a lot of fun to check out.
You know, I can't do haunted houses.
I can't either. I'm not a fan of them.
But yeah.
I used to be, but I gave up on them.
It's the jump scare thing. Dude, this
Yeah.
place does look crazy. Dang.
There's a difference between being scared and startled.
Yeah, that's
And,
true.
and when
Yeah.
you have some teenager with bad breath slapping a 2x4 against the wall, I'm like, dude,
Man, you make anything sound fun.
Well, that's what we found doing haunted houses this year is that the really good ones aren't. It's not about startling you.
Yeah.
It is scary.
Mhm.
oh yeah, those are.
That's because we go here. I was not a fan of haunted houses. Brandon and I were both terrified, and we just did one this weekend. And I left, and I was like, I don't know if I'm just getting used to it now, or that one was not scary at all. But
Yeah. Yeah. Kind
There's
of
a-
desensitized a little bit, maybe.
yeah, there's a big difference between getting startled and just a creepy vibe. And a
Yeah.
lot of the good haunted houses are telling a story that's like you can see it from beginning to end.
Yeah, I think the one downtown, the Factory, is like known to be a really good haunted house. I've never been to it, but it's crazy.
I'll tell you the creepiest one that I ever did was up in Park City, where they did when they did it in the silver mine.
Oh, the haunted
wow.
mine.
Oh, that
Yeah.
would be crazy.
That was a thing? That's awesome.
Yeah, it was.
The
That
mine's
was.
closed now,
It
though,
is.
isn't
They
it?
don't do it anymore.
Yeah,
But
I've been in the mine before.
yeah, getting in that mine shaft and riding that train down
Yeah.
the shaft, that was probably the most terrifying thing I've ever done. It had nothing to do with the things that they had set up to scare you. No, it was that mine shaft.
Oh, yeah.
It would just go
Yeah.
down the.
Dude, and we've been in an actual active mine. That was the scariest
Yeah.
ride I've ever been on. Do
Yeah.
you remember that?
Yeah, oh yeah, I've done it twice.
We went down into a Trona mine
Yeah.
in Wyoming. Was it Wyoming?
Yep.
Yeah, Wyoming. And they had just Jeeps with the top cut off because they're in a mine, right? And then the guy's like, he doesn't want us to be there. We're filming a training video for the company, you know.
There's a safety video.
He doesn't give a shit about us. And then we just all hop in the Jeep and we're like, okay. And he's driving like 40 in a mine shaft basically.
In a mine tunnel.
And there's like
Yeah.
pipes above where like I was sitting behind him and I just see him go and a pipe would come flying by. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, man, that was a scary haunted house. But we digress. Or I digress. I want to talk about Disney World. Epcot Center. Have you guys been to Disney World or any of that?
No.
You gotta go. It's so cool. It's gimmicky, but you'll love it.
It is.
Epcot
Isn't
Center,
that
they
just
have
a big gift shop? What's in there?
they have so it celebrates like different cultures, right? And so you can go to like this reconstruction of a little town in Japan, and then everything's like Japanese related, like the market and the restaurant. It was cool. I remember as a kid, I told my mom, I was like, "We're eating at every place."
Did you?
You know, yeah. Actually, I think we just got Japanese food, but it was cool. I remember being a kid, and then you see the big. Everybody's seen the globe, you know. For I
Yeah.
think that's Epcot,
The golf
right?
ball, I thought it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we rode the roller coaster, and the globe looks more cool than the actual roller coaster inside it was, because you're like, yeah, how great could it be if they're constrained to this like tiny globe? But it was fun, man.
Well, look at Space Mountain. That's indoors. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, we can't discredit
Man,
that.
I've never been on any of that stuff.
Kurt's like, I want to go on a trip.
That sounds pretty cool.
Can we expense it?
Yeah.
Hey, Chaz,
we
I don't know.
expense
Can we, how much money's in the account?
Not enough to expense it.
It's okay. You can say zero.
You can get a water on your trip.
That would be sweet, though.
Trip to the drinking fountain.
Disney World was also a challenge because it's so humid in Florida.
Yeah.
But the town, I think it's Kissimmee, that's right outside of Disney World, like basically exists because of Disney World. That's where everybody stays, you know. And when you go to Disney World, it's like, it was crazy. I think they're getting rid of it, but they had downtown Disney, which was like, yeah, you can send your kids off to the park, and then these are all the clubs and the bars and stuff that you can go to while your kids are going on the rides, you know?
Well, then the downtown Disney stuff, you don't even have to pay to go to. Right?
Yeah, you didn't. It was just like a mall, but a weird themed thing.
Yeah, because I went. We had dinner there one night when I was in Orlando. You know, went to the NBA cafe and kind of walked around there for a while. I mean, it was all right, but gimmicky.
You're at a theme park, dude. Yeah.
Have you been there as an adult?
Not as an adult. When I went, I was I graduated high school. I think my parents were like, we'll go on a trip, you know, and not as an adult. I know it's changed a lot, which is also an interesting thing. I think that owning a theme park, you probably kind of have to be a psychopath because you know that you can't keep it the same forever. You're always going to have new rides. And the fact that Disneyland can phase out these rides and nobody's really upset about it and then build something brand new and be like, oh, it's the new Harry Potter area or whatever. You're like, oh, dang, what was there before? I don't remember, you know?
Oh, we're the kind that are upset about it. So.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say, no, most people are really upset about it.
Well, see, and I
Changing
think
Splash
that-
Mountain, that's
Splash Mountain was fun.
Well,
Yeah.
there's certain rides I'm sure that they can't get rid of. You know what I mean? Pirates of the Caribbean, you never get rid of that.
Nope.
Right.
You know, and if you do, I want to be there because I'm buying some of it. You know, because that's the history of it. We all know about that. I think in Disney World they had like a zoo they planned out on an island. It was in this big lake.
Oh, yeah.
And and then they abandoned it and they were like, we don't know what to put here.
Yeah,
so it's
river
all
country.
it's really weird now. That would be cool to like get a tour of that.
Yeah, do the urban exploring.
Yeah, just see how it is now.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's almost a better haunted house. Is just like we wanted a theme park, but we abandoned it. So let's just let nature take it over.
Did they actually build one? And
They built
not
a whole.
operational?
It was like it was operational for a long time, but it was like a zoo type of thing, kind of
I think it was a water park.
water
And
park, and
They were
used-
pulling in water from the lagoon, and people started getting really sick.
Oh.
And they just shut it down.
yeah,
I think there might have been a brain-eating amoeba.
maybe. I watched a documentary on it, but I don't remember. I remember them saying that they just shut it down, and then people were walking through it like in this documentary, and it was just so eerie.
Do you
Yeah.
think there's
But, like-
zombies there?
Oh, if zombies exist on the planet, they're there
They're
for
there.
sure. Yeah, I mean the brain
Yeah,
eating
that's
amoeba.
what I was thinking.
It's 100% made zombies.
You can find some videos on YouTube of people that have gone there. Of course, not with
Yeah.
permission, but they've gone in and there's still like some crazy animals there, some birds that
Yeah.
you wouldn't find elsewhere.
Huh.
You know what I've liked too when it comes to theme parks is I like these people that decide they're going to build their own in like their backyard. And it's just the most dangerous stuff. It's like a super steep water slide with like a loop in it that people just drowned in. And he's like, I didn't know that was going to happen. I wanted the kids to have fun.
It's covered by home insurance.
And then, inevitably they get shut down or just like the homebrew rides and stuff like that. But I bet that's how like amusement parks in the beginning got started, right? It's
Right.
just somebody like, man, it'd be cool if we could like ride a mine cart down that.
Yeah.
And then it gets refined,
Well, carnivals were first, weren't they? Before amusement parks, do you think?
I
don't know.
I bet.
I should know. I read a book about this.
Yeah.
I should remember, but
You
I
are
don't.
the expert. If you don't know, then you're out of luck. So, talking about amusement parks, you seem like you're really interested in like the history of it and the rides themselves. The carousel, would you consider that your favorite ride?
No,
No,
not at
yeah,
all.
Okay.
No, but there's always great history behind it and well documented a lot of times where it's like these horses came from this carousel in 1900s and they've got like everything documented about that certain horse
Yeah.
and things like that. So we enjoy that, but yeah, we love the history. It's always interesting how they get started.
Oh yeah.
We talked about one in Salem, Oregon, the Enchanted Forest, and this guy worked it's right off of I-5. You're on I-5 and you're going to drive right past it, and he just built that by himself pretty much in his backyard. He was like,
Yeah.
I'm going to do this, and just did it. So we love finding the history of crazy people who are like, I'm going to build something to bring people here.
Yeah, and I think that's like kind of a selfless job too. Like you create a theme park to make other people happy, have fun, and man, we need a theme park.
In your backyard.
We need more than Lagoon here,
yeah.
in my opinion. I do like Lagoon. We appreciate Lagoon, but
Yeah. I have kind of some theories about Lagoon. This is all my opinion, by the way, because if like Lagoon listens, and then they're like, take that down. I don't want that to happen.
Right.
My theory is that they've talked to like Six Flags.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
And
surprised
other
it's
people,
not
and
one
they're
yet.
like, hey, is it just cool if you don't open one in Salt Lake? Because we're Lagoon, and if Six Flags opened here, do you think that it would put Lagoon out of business?
well, there's been discussions of Six Flags buying Lagoon.
Yeah. That's what they
turning
did
it
in
into a
Colorado
Six
to
Flag.
Elitch's. Yeah.
That
Oh, yeah.
rumor's been going on for decades.
Yeah, I was
Well-
going to say that's always the rumor.
Yeah.
Part of it, why Six Flags won't do it, is the height restriction. They're in Davis County. They can't, they're limited to the height. In Six Flags, we want to put something bigger, so that's why they won't go through with it. That's what I've heard. So
Interesting, yeah.
Cannibal's
Yeah.
pretty tall. Like it's
Yeah, it is.
one of the tallest.
Is it taller than Rocket? On the rocket?
I believe
think
so.
so.
The
Okay.
tower is taller, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. I remember when they put the rocket in there.
Yeah.
Like I was like, dang, this is some alien
like the rocket.
technology.
Yeah.
We're still scared of that one.
It haunts
Are
my
you?
dreams. I'm not even kidding. I have recurring dreams, and the rocket's one of them.
Really?
I wake up, I text Brandon first thing, like, I just dreamed about the rocket, dude. It's not
But
good.
which one? The
Yeah.
one that
Blast
ta-
off.
The blast,
Blast
off?
off.
Yeah.
I like both of them.
Yeah, growing up, I was always forced to go on. I'm the youngest, so I was always forced to go on the blast off. They never cared about reentry. And so I was forced to do that.
I
and
like the blast off.
I'm
thought
sure
you-
it's fun, but it's been so long since I've ridden it. It's built up in my head so much.
Oh yeah.
And that
yeah.
shock factor of when's it gonna actually go?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was kind of the gimmick too when I first built it. Is like because they do lift you up and then it kind of jiggles a
Yeah.
little bit, so you
Yep.
think you're gonna go. Like, they did that on purpose for sure.
course they
You
did.
know? Yeah, great idea. But the line takes forever to get through for that ride. That's the problem with that ride is that when
And
it
that-
first came out, they were really efficient with it, but somewhere along the line they screwed up. They
One of them was broken down when we went this year because we stood in
Yeah.
line forever.
Yeah, it was the blast off that was broken
Yeah.
down.
oh yeah, it was.
Because I hated the re-entry, and you guys made me do it.
Dude, when you tell me that you don't like a ride, you're going on it. That's why I've been trying to get you to skydive forever. Like if
No,
you're like,
I
I'm scared to
told you.
skydive, I'm like, we're 100%
That's why I like the rocket. I'll bungee jump.
All right, we're gonna have to figure out a way to get a plane. I'll be like, hey, we're just gonna fly down to St. George in this small plane with parachutes in it,
Little Cessna.
with no seats for some reason.
Oh,
Don't ask questions.
Did you see what some YouTube guy actually just did that? Purposely crashed his plane. Like,
Oh, yeah,
jumped out.
that's- yeah, I read a whole thing
Yeah,
about
he's
that. He
6
got-
months in jail for
Yeah, he got
that.
Yeah.
in trouble for that.
no. Where did he crash his plane?
Somewhere in the
He had it all
Yeah.
planned out that he was going to go up with a parachute and then fake that his plane had problems and then jump out with his parachute. He did that. He let his plane crash, and he landed and went and saw the plane wreckage and was like, I just was in this crash, and then he hiked way out, and then later on they found out they just did it for YouTube.
Oh, I thought maybe he did it because he was nuts and he was in a psych ward now.
Also that, yeah.
FAA was not happy.
Oh, I bet.
I can't imagine they would promote that. Like, hey, yeah, if you guys ever feel like crashing planes, it's cool. We really liked your video, man.
But yeah, did you see how many views it got?
Got a ton. Yeah. He's probably still getting
We're talking about it right now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, let's stop.
Okay.
Okay, let's keep talking about it. It's kind of cool. Just kidding.
But speaking of Six Flags buying things, did you guys hear that Six Flags did purchase Cedar Fair,
Yeah.
Yep.
which is the parent company of Cedar Point?
Yeah.
Knott's Berry.
So yeah,
And Knott's Berry, yeah, they merged.
yeah, they merged.
So that'll be interesting to see if probably nothing will change.
No, it'll just get a name change is all. It'll
Yeah.
just be Six Flags Cedar Point. That's all it'll turn into.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Six Flags, I think, is known as the amusement park with the roller coasters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, for
Like,
sure.
They've always been that. I know. You know, if you're going to Six Flags, you're gonna be scared that day. At least go on one ride. You know.
I love roller coasters, though.
Yeah, I do too.
My favorite one is in San Antonio at Six Flags. It's the
Yeah.
Superman.
Oh, okay. There's so many, because I know there's Six Flags in California with Superman where you shoot straight up.
Yeah.
What's the Superman in
This
San
one,
Antonio?
it's the roller coaster is underneath the track instead of on the track. And
Oh, okay.
So, it does all these twists and turns. It's
Yeah.
really fun.
Gotcha.
Yeah, my brother he lived in San Antonio for a couple of months and said that was amazing.
It is an amazing ride.
I went
favorite
to.
one.
I did go to Knott's Berry Farm when I went to Disneyland too. We did that in like the same trip, and I remember Knott's Berry Farm being awesome.
Yeah.
Like they had all the roller coasters that I wanted to ride, but then there was other cool things like panning for gold, which as a kid I was just eating that up. Dude. I'm like, this
You're like,
is
"What
What
crazy.
kid doesn't
gonna be
like
rich."
to pan?
And then like you could go buy a geode and have them cut it open for you, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just like I'm like, man, this is the best amusement park ever.
They got pie.
Yeah.
Apple pie?
We were like foreshadowing jokes for
I
the
know.
other.
Maybe that's what.
Maybe next time we should just record in order. So yeah, if you could only go to one amusement park for like the rest of your life, could you pick one?
No.
Yeah. Well,
It's a
Me
tough
either.
question.
I think I would be okay with Lagoon, even though I know that people out there are like, no way. But I grew up with it. Take beer in there, and the Cannibal is that good. I think the Cannibal is one of the best roller coasters
It
that
is
I've
really good.
ever ridden.
I agree. It's probably my favorite.
Oh, I probably won't ride it again.
Really?
You know
It
what?
was that bad?
What did I
I
just tell Kurt? You say that you're doing it again. Yeah.
You can't forcibly make
It was
me.
He did force me to get on that the Samurai.
I
Oh,
did,
yeah.
I did.
I refused to ride that, and then Wade's like, "Oh, come on, you just go." I'm like, no.
We're at
And
the
then I find
amusement park to
myself
go on rides.
So
and
I
have fun.
like the one that we rode on a couple times. Better than
The
Cannibal.
swings.
No, the other roller coaster there.
Wicked.
Oh,
Wicked. Yes, thank
yeah.
you.
That's a good. One.
Wicked and the Colossus. Yeah.
Colossus is great.
Oh, I love it. It's just old enough to be amazing. Yeah, I remember when you could go to Lagoon and when you get off the Colossus, they'd take your picture in that
Yep.
second loop,
Yep.
and then like at some point they're like, nobody's buying these. Let's just get rid of that for now.
I bet my parents have mine.
I was going to say, I wonder if I have mine
I
still.
might have one somewhere. I haven't thought about that in a long time. Which great idea for an amusement park, right? Like take your picture when you least expect it. I think it's a brilliant idea.
It is.
And funnel cakes, you know.
Yeah, let's talk
I just love
amusement park food.
Amusement park food just tastes better.
Kind of like camping, you know. When you're camping, food
Yeah.
always tastes better. When you're at the amusement park, it always tastes better. You're gonna pay for it, but it tastes better.
Is that kind of like going to the fair too?
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. $30 cheese fries. Get out of here with that. But like, there's certain things. I think it's awesome with Lagoon too that they're, and maybe you guys know that if there's other parks that do this, but Lagoon's one of the only parks I know of that's partnered with fast food places like Arby's
And
They
Subway.
and some they have
Yeah.
like an Arby's and a Subway in there.
They have Swig in there now too.
Oh, jeez, we should have known that was going to happen.
Right next to the beer garden.
I think they had good intentions with that. I remember we went and had a pretzel there last time.
It was
and
a good pretzel.
the guy, there was this guy.
Well, it's open during the winter.
It is.
Yeah, there's a guy in there, and he's like, "Dude, you can come in during the winter." And I'm like, "Dang, Lagoon."
We should do a beer garden trip and have another pretzel.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
good pretzel there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd love to go check it out when there's lots of snow, just to see Lagoon with snow.
yeah. That is interesting. Which I guess it makes sense you'd close it down in the wintertime, but just because it's cold.
Well, so many other parks still stay open and do other things, but
Yeah.
they just never do it here.
Yeah, they did. Like I remember when Frightmares became a big thing at Lagoon. Like it was like Halloween, like the park's closing, but go to Frightmares. I never went. Have you guys
I've
ever
not
been?
been.
Yeah,
I grew
we
up
usually
good.
go every year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it? Just a haunted house, or was it like the park still open with the haunted house?
Yeah, the park's open, and then it was a lot better when we were kids
Yeah.
because they would have tons of walk around characters, these big creatures.
Oh, yeah.
The fog was just like you couldn't breathe. There was so much fog. It was great. But now it's mostly just haunted houses they'll set up in the pavilions and stuff. They're still all right, but
All right. There's one I think you can walk through in 2 minutes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it kind of gives you an idea. I mean,
Yeah.
there's longer ones. That's the shortest, but
Sure.
you get through and then you're like, wait, I'm outside. Like, I don't know when that happened.
yeah. Well, that was quick. But another hard thing about amusement parks is they have to cater to all ages, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because as a parent, you're going to take your kids there, right? And then you kind of want to have fun too. Like going on like all the kiddie rides with your children is probably its own type of fun because your child is experiencing that for the first time. But yeah, you're like, just hang out with mom. I'm going to go on the Cannibal. I'll be back in a bit. And every time we go to Lagoon, we try to ride that thing like until we're sick of it.
Well, yeah.
well, the good thing about Frightmares, we went one year and it was a really cold day to the
Yeah.
point they even closed it. Then they closed it at the beginning of the day and then they reopened.
Yeah, it was raining.
Weird.
And so there was nobody there, but so you can go on everything as much as you want. There's no line. So we went on Cannibal like 3 times in a row
Yeah.
to
It was
close
awesome.
out the end of the day.
Yeah, that's the best.
Ride it
That's a
till you
secret.
puke.
That's the secret with Lagoon is if you go there early.
Yeah.
You get there early, you can
Or-
usually get a bunch of rides in quick.
Any place you just go there early, you're going to be
I guess
the
you're
majority of the
probably
crowd.
Yeah.
Especially for like people like me and Kurt, we're just single with no kids or anything. It's like, yeah, we're getting up early for that. It'll be cool. So when we go to Disneyland, we'll have to do that. I really think we should set up something to go to Disneyland with Kurt.
Go in September,
Dude,
like on a Tuesday.
No, I'm sorry to
know.
break it to you. There's no slow season anymore.
Oh, last time I went, we went in early mid September. We went on a Tuesday, walked onto every single ride.
Yeah. Well,
You
see,
got
the
lucky.
problem is they now start Halloween in August,
Yeah.
and so that's the busiest time now. It's
And
Halloween
that's-
time.
It was the Halloween stuff,
Yeah.
but Tuesday and Wednesday, no lines. I mean,
When was
we
that?
may
How
have
long
waited
ago?
5 minutes for a ride.
Yeah.
We went there like 2
we were
or 3
on-
years
then
ago.
on
How long
Thursday,
ago was it?
Thursday started was busier,
Yeah.
but Tuesday and Wednesday, cakewalk.
We planned ours out between Halloween and between Christmas. That's supposed to be the sweet spot. and it was packed.
Just packed.
And
Yeah.
then after I heard podcasts later talking about like we predicted it to be a 4 and it was an 8 as far as crowd size.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
and the narrative, as soon as I left, I started sending Brendan stuff. A bunch of people started doing coverage of like there's no slow time anymore because this was the slow week when we went.
Yeah.
And it was packed.
Yeah.
And it just didn't. It's still packed. It's not stopping.
And that's the crazy thing is they come up with really creative ways to keep you busy while you wait in line. And it's on some rides. Some of the rides you get in the line and you're like, man, I remember as a kid, you're like back and forth in the queue forever. And then you see the door that's in front of you. You're like, oh, we're almost there. And then you go through the door and it's more back and forth.
Thank you. Yeah.
How disheartening as a kid, you know? Oh, man. Really?
I remember going, and there was a huge line for Indiana Jones, and we had a baby, so we had to split. So the first group went, and then we went, and we went second, me and my wife, and they're like, good luck, that line takes forever. And I'm like, I love it.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones line, it's great. I'm happy to wait in this line.
Yeah.
It's way cool.
Yeah, sometimes they do a lot to keep you busy and build the anticipation. I think waiting in line is kind of part of the build up for the ride, which is why it was so awesome that we were the next on the Cannibal and it broke down when we were with Laura, her first time ever on it. We were experiencing technical difficulties. I'm like, oh yeah.
I'm like, I don't think I'm getting on it.
Yeah. I was like, well, you're not going out of the line. You're definitely going on it. Let's take a break real quick, and we'll be right back. And we're back. Brandon and Matt. Amusement Park Road Trip podcast. Dude, I'm
2 for 2.
I love it. 2 for 2, you're right.
for 2.
Yeah, I did it twice. Man, after a long day, too, that's rough. Episode 300, we got to say it.
Yay.
Yeah, we did it.
We're just honored to be a part of this.
Yeah, we
Thanks,
are.
man. Yeah, and we're happy to have you here too. It's been a long time since you've been in the studio. You can look it back up. I mean, I won't make Kurt go look at what episode number you were on, but look for This Is a Place podcast. Check that episode out. It was good. You mentioned something on the break you wanted to bring up.
Well, I've never vocalized this, but we listen to the podcast, and you mentioned you're a big Circus Survive fan.
I am, yeah.
And so I know we both had tickets to go to that concert that they ultimately canceled. I just wanted to know your thoughts on that.
That stems like what, the cancellation or just the band in general?
Just in general.
Okay, yeah, I love Circus Survive. That goes back to when I was like in high school playing drums. I was just like that type of music, like Under Oath and Senses Fell, Circus Survive. I was super bummed that they canceled the show because I don't really go to that many shows. I think Laura, that like last year when you went crazy buying tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was the year before.
Oh, the year before, yeah. You went to so many shows. I was like, by the end of the season, you're going to be sick of going to shows.
I was.
Yeah. But I was really bummed out about that one. I was going to go with Taylor. And I don't remember why they canceled.
I think they just broke up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dang, I didn't know they broke up either. But yeah, that comes back from when I started playing drums. I always thought that their drummer was super good. Same thing with like Under Oath, and I just kind of fell into that genre. Was in bands that played that genre, kind of, only more emo. And I've shown Laura like pictures of me back in the emo band. It's hilarious. Maybe one day I'll share that on like the podcast stuff. I don't know. We'll see.
Have you shared what was your band's name?
Oh my gosh. This is the most embarrassing part because my emo band was called Remember the Tragedy. How emo is that?
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I never really I just enjoyed playing the drums, but I remember specifically the guitarists and stuff. They were like, man, we're really gonna get into the emo thing. We need you to wear mascara. And I was like, nope. You guys have fun doing that, but I'm not doing that. And they did. And they looked really emo. But yeah, just from that era, it's kind of when I got into it. But I still listen to them today. I like it.
I just wonder if there was ever a time I saw you, because I went to a lot of concerts in that era. But
yeah, I bet we did.
A lot of those emo shows.
Mm-hmm. Man, I was so angsty back then. It was fun.
I just can't imagine it. It makes me laugh.
It was awesome. It was great. We played with Remember the Tragedy on Park City TV.
Whoa.
And
Wow.
I have the DVD for it upstairs, and every time I put it in to watch it, I'm like, no, I can't do this. I can't do this, dude. And
Well,
then
we need to pay you to see that, Wade.
Oh, man. I couldn't be there if you watched it. I'd have to leave.
Is it that bad?
It's just like
Different.
we were in a band because being in a band was cool. It's not because we were good. you know. And I don't know how we got on to Park City TV. And when you do something like that, it's not what we thought it was super cool. We thought we're famous, you know, but we weren't. They had us show up on their set. They had this little corner that they made us put all of our stuff in, and then they do the show, and you sit there the whole time. But then the producer tells you, when the clock says this, it's gonna be like 30 seconds left or whatever. Get ready, and then play your song. And we're like, okay, cool. At least we get a whole song on TV. Awesome. No, it was just like when you go to and from break from an advertisement, right? They gave us like 5 seconds of sound.
Oh, funny.
So when we watched it back, I was like, oh, like we started from the beginning of our song, and it never even we never really got started by the time they cut it, you know. And it was still cool experience, but yeah, the band days were fun. Another story from that day is we recorded our own album, and we wanted to get it on the X96, so we went down to their studio and we slid it. It was closed, but we slid the case between the door, just because we're dropping it off here no matter what. And it fell down and broke open, and the CD rolled underneath a couch. But I was like,
And you only brought one with you?
oh yeah, yeah.
That's the only one they had.
Yeah. And we were like,
damn.
what? Like, no way did that just happen, you know? It did.
I wonder
And
if
somehow
anybody
they
ever
still
found
they
it.
did. They played it.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
nice.
I think that since it rolled under the couch, they might have just taken pity on us. They're like, we got it. That's fine.
They played it on X96.
They did, yeah.
That's funny.
That is funny.
Yeah. That was like one of those things where it was, oh, cool, we hear it on the radio. And then, like, you could tell in the DJ's voice, like, not playing that again. And in that same band, that's the only time that we've ever been, like, booed off stage before. That was embarrassing. We were like, the sound guy's like, you got one more song? Or, no, you're done. You need to get off stage. We're like, okay. And he's like, oh, I'm just kidding, one more song. And then the lead singer's like, yeah, I guess we got one more song. And in the back of the room, you just hear, boo! And now we've got to play one more song. And we just played the song and just left. But yeah, that kind of contributes to the podcast in these days, because now I'm not so nervous about things that I say, you know, being on stage and stuff. Still nervous, but
we're
at the
not
same
on
time,
stage.
yeah, arguably we're on a bigger stage.
Yeah.
But it helps just to make it made me realize at a young age that if you do something dumb or people don't like it, then they just think about it in that moment, you know. And outside of that, we were talking about that on the break with podcasting. It's like you were talking about how you want to edit out like the ums and the things, and it's like, because you listen back to it and then you get self-critical and you're like, I say that too much, or I've thought about myself, I say like too much, like, you know, like, and I hate
like
it.
You lived from the Valley Girl.
Yeah. And I really beat myself up about it, but at the end of the day, I don't think anybody cares.
No, they don't.
They're just going to move on.
If you're really annoying about it.
Well, yeah. Yeah, true. And there's like Kurt's Corner, man. That took off. Everybody loves that. And you
And they miss it.
absolutely hate it.
I know.
It's like,
I
I
miss
don't know,
it.
man. I just like that we're talking, like, we'd be talking about amusement parks, and Kurt's like, oh, yeah, did you see what happened at the Vatican? I'm like, oh, my God. It's just like your idea, your topics come out of, like, a place that my mind isn't. So that's why I think people like it, you know, because.
Oh, the Kurt's Corner?
Yeah. Because it's like, we could be talking about anything, and you're like, oh, dude, check out this robot. You know,
But somehow you
something.
relate it to the episode, though.
Yeah, he does.
I've been trying to do that.
Yeah.
Do a good job. We need more Kurt's Corner.
Yeah.
Well, give me 5 minutes and see if I can find
All
it.
right.
This is going to be crazy.
Well, I'll relate that to our podcast, because that's kind of how we started out, is our friendship. We went to high school together, and we were in a band together
Oh yeah.
for a whole shed show,
Heck yeah, dude.
a whole practice.
For 3 hours.
Nice.
We had one song. We were covering a Built to Spill song.
Okay.
Time Trap. Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, I don't even know that song. I want to hear it, though.
Oh, it's great.
Did you guys ever record anything?
No,
I mean,
Yeah.
I've recorded stuff, but just by myself.
and I couldn't even play an instrument back then. They just took pity on me and said, I guess you can sing.
Did you do well?
No.
Okay.
The problem is his voice is really high, and especially in that song. And so none of us could sing that song.
Yeah. So you kind of set yourself up for failure in the beginning anyway, but it was fun, right?
We did an instrumental version of it.
I got kicked out.
Sounds good enough. Sounds good enough. And let's go.
Yeah, I remember doing the band days of, like, I thought it's so dumb in hindsight, but I thought it was so cool. Like, I'm hanging out in the green room. Like, none of my friends can come back here. But I was young, and I thought it was cool.
And it's a room painted green with a dirty ass couch in it.
Yeah, it's basically a step up from like a public restroom.
Right?
Where you're just behind the stage, but you just felt cool, and then you come out and your friends listen to your shows. The other thing too was like selling tickets for shows. I was in one band where they're like, we need to play a show every week, and I was like, I don't think you guys understand, because all of our friends are going to come to the first show, and then next week they're not going to come back. They're coming out because they're supporting us for one show, but you're not going to sell them like a $20 ticket every week,
They might come out every few months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, my parents were awesome. I played the drums. My parents practice band at our house. So we did that all the time. And Mom's like, at least I knew where you were. You weren't out getting in trouble or something. You're just playing music. It was fun.
And you're in a band again now, right?
Yeah. The band is called This Place Sucks. It's a punk band. And we came up with that name because I just wanted to be able to say it every time we're at a venue. Yeah, hey, this place sucks. We're working on merch, and it's just all going to say, like, this shirt sucks, this hat sucks, this underwear sucks.
You could come on the podcast and say this podcast sucks.
Yeah, maybe we'll start that. No, I don't want another podcast. I don't know how you do 2 of them.
Good question.
So what the initial idea to have a podcast, who came up with the amusement park one? Because you were doing this as a place.
Yeah.
Did you guys just kind of behind the scenes talk like, maybe we should do another one about specifically that?
We've had Matt on quite a bit. He's kind of an unofficial third member. He did a residency or an internship.
Yep.
It didn't last, and so no, just kidding. It kind of came to the point where he enjoyed doing it, but we kind of wanted to do something else.
Yeah, I felt like what Nate and Brandon have on This Is a Place, I was kind of ruining that. And I really enjoy that show. And so I stepped out of that. I just, because we jokingly said it was an internship, but we were testing it out to see if it'd work.
Sure.
And I felt like it wasn't working. We were all having a good time.
Yeah.
But I felt like I was ruining that chemistry between those two. So I left it to them. And then I just started thinking, because I loved it so much, and so I reached out to Brandon. I wrote up this official email, which I can't find. I wish I could find it.
I could find it.
You wrote up a pitch.
Yeah, I really did. And I was like, here's our intro. And then that week I sent him the audio of what our intro would sound like, and I did my voice and I did Brandon's voice and the intro and stuff. Dude. And I put the music together for it and everything. So
I didn't listen. I just said, okay.
Yeah. You did all that work and you're like, yeah, dude, I'm in.
So, yeah, and we just have really enjoyed talking about it. And again, so many people focus on Disneyland or Universal, Disney. As soon as you realize how many amusement parks are out in the country, your eyes are just totally open to this whole new world you didn't even know existed.
I can't imagine even getting into amusement parks outside of the U.S.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I bet that'd be cool. Because not everybody has the same safety standards we do. I bet there's some janky stuff out there.
It's some really cool ones, though.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of the popular ones out of the country are, notorious for just straight up ripping Disney off.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
There's one, Europa Park, and if you ever look up a picture, you're going to see Spaceship Earth, which is the ball at Epcot. That's what it is. That's
so awesome. I want to go to one of those, the Sam's Club of Disney World or something, It all looks the same, but it's
Western
just
family brand.
Kroger branded or something, yeah. That'd be fun. But yeah, I could see why too, because I think Disneyland, the reason why a lot of people go to that is that set the bar,
It really did.
The idea that Walt Disney had to put that into a reality is insane. Nobody's ever done anything like that. And when everybody realized, oh, this is working. Everybody loves that. Yeah, I'd copy it too. They hate us because they ain't us.
I just can't imagine what the cost of building a roller coaster, from engineering to drafting to, just making it work.
I think it'd be kind of cool to be the guy that tests it the first time. That would be fun. I think Kurt would like that job too.
What?
Roller coaster tester.
Any new roller coaster that just got built, you're the first guy to ride it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. That seems like the perfect job.
I'll be the second.
Sure.
Yeah. I don't need a waiver. I'm not going to sue you.
Well, maybe.
Yeah, I guess you would have to like make them pay for your medical bills or something horrible.
No, it's workman's comp issue.
Like
Speaking of stuff like that, I do have something for Kurt's Corner.
hit us
Okay.
with it, man.
Kurt's
Hey.
Corner.
Kurt's Corner. Hey!
Yes.
All right, so the fastest accelerating roller coaster has been closed because riders keep breaking their bones.
Dude, where's this at?
So the I can't pronounce the name of this. It's Dodonpa. It's the world's fastest accelerating roller coaster has been closed after people are breaking their backs or neck
Oh,
after riding it just in the last 9 months. Actually, this was back in 2021, so it's a little
How did
old,
that
but-
get opened to begin with? Like,
Right?
the guy that tested was like,
So located
it's
in Fuji-Q Highland Park in Japan, was able to accelerate from 0 to 112 miles per hour in just under 2 seconds.
that's fast.
who? Like I
And-
say, who thought that was a great idea?
They did not test that one.
And so yeah, apparently it's enough to has caused 6 people to break their backs and necks.
Wow.
And so they closed the ride and investigated it, but couldn't find a reason. So it is permanently closed.
Oh, they probably found a reason. I'm just going to call them out right there. You guys found the reason. You just didn't tell us what it was. They were like, actually, we were testing brand new technology for a bullet train.
Yeah, so that's why I don't want to be the first on the ride.
He
Does it
changed
say
his
what the
mind.
G-load people were experiencing?
Let me see if I can find it in here, but I didn't see anything that talked about it.
That's fast. That's really fast. Like, I instantly while he was talking about that, it brought me back to being a kid and playing Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm like, I remember that you could build, you were like, spend hours building this coaster and then you test it and it would just be way too intense for any riders. You're like, man.
Would you ever watch Let's Game It Out
Yeah.
on
yeah,
YouTube?
dude.
Yeah, that guy, he builds some of the weirdest stuff, testing the full limit
Yeah. Of the video game.
of the game, and
Yeah.
building the weirdest roller coasters, and
He just launches them
just
off the
launches.
track.
Yeah.
But we have to admit, our favorite part was doing the roller coaster that didn't have an end and would just shoot everybody off
Oh,
into
yeah.
the lake.
Oh yeah.
Up into
There's
the
one.
lake.
Somebody built one that it took like 30 something years
Mhm.
to complete the ride. If you get on the ride in
Are
it,
you talking about
Yeah,
road
on the
construction
game?
in Utah?
it's a game. Yeah, so it's
We're living that ride.
You build a roller coaster in the game, and so this
And it took him 30 years.
not to build the game, but to ride to when you start the ride, it takes 30 years to get through the
in the
ride.
game, in the roller coaster section.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Guy has way too much
'Cause you-
time on his hands.
You get on the ride and it just barely moves down the track, and it just goes in just a snake all the way, and then it gets to the end and then starts coming back.
would you look up a video for me on YouTube?
But for that,
No, not for
Oh.
that. I got something different. I don't know if this is fake or real, but you guys are the experts, so we'll find out. Just look up gap in roller coaster.
yeah.
Oh, this summer.
Yeah, that's
Is it real?
Oh wait.
Yeah,
No. They I don't know if it's referring to this, but they are building roller coasters where you're not actually on the track. The track's on the side. It's gonna be a Donkey Kong roller coaster,
Oh, really?
and so you're gonna jump up, and it looks like you're jumping up onto a gap.
Wow.
you talking about
But-
crap like that.
Yeah,
But
but,
it's-
do
yeah.
the first short at the top. Because the first video right there, like, no way.
This
There's
one here.
no safety guy on the planet that's approving
Is
that.
there sound for it, or
There's
I don't know, just
no
click.
track at all.
Yeah,
I
look,
thought-
watch the. I don't know. I kind of think it's fake.
No, there's.
there's no
So-
way?
It's this. Whoa, bad angle. It's basically a loop that the top is cut out of it, or there's pieces of the track.
Oh my
that,
gosh.
Oh, that can't
that's
be real.
edited out.
Do you think it is fake?
Yeah.
That's
Yes,
fake.
very fake.
Yeah.
But he got 12 million views. Congratulations.
Mhm.
12 million and one now.
Yeah.
We've watched it twice.
He's just sitting there cashing his checks. That weird looking dude is just like, I'm going to Popeyes.
I think the person was like 12.
Huh?
So I think that person was like 12.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I mean, the roller coaster's fake. And that could be anybody for we know.
This is another. If you are interested, Kurt, to look up. It's a hypothetical roller coaster, but it's called like the euthanasia roller coaster.
Oh yeah.
You seen
I've
that?
heard about that.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
It's a series of loops that get smaller and smaller. You just die from G-force.
If you really, really love amusement parks, I don't think this would be the way for us to go. But if it were,
I think a roller coaster that tries to kill you in 1 minute. Yeah, the euthanasia one. That's funny. Oh, that's awesome.
You know what I hate when?
Do you know what I hate when Wade doesn't mute his laptop? Yeah, that looks like fun. That would be a cool way to go out.
On a roller coaster?
Yeah. Not just die peacefully in your sleep, man.
of all the ways.
Yeah. Shoot.
Did you lose your train of thought?
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's gone.
You guys have been up to Silverwood up in Idaho?
No.
I have.
Have you? Is that
Yes.
any good?
Yeah, well,
I drove by it one time. But,
I actually had looked it up. It's in.
It's up north of Coeur d'Alene.
Yes.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Way north.
In Athol, Idaho.
Sure.
What's the name of the park?
ATHL, Silverwood.
Oh,
Silverwood?
Yeah, I've got family that lives in Hayden, Idaho, so that's just right outside Coeur d'Alene.
Yeah,
so.
my grandma lives up in Coeur d'Alene, and I never knew that was up there.
Yeah, so one year when I was up visiting my relatives, we went to
It looks cool.
Silverwood.
Dang, there's a lot of roller coasters at this park.
Oh yeah, that's like what it all is. It's all roller coasters.
that's
I remember
that
there's a
would be
bunch
my
of wooden
favorite type
ones.
of park. Nothing but roller coasters.
I've always
And I would
wanted
name
to.
it that.
Nothing but roller coasters.
Nothing but roller coasters.
I like the rides like in between Las Vegas and California. There was Buffalo Bills, and they had the roller coaster in there. I definitely rode that. I remember driving through. I was like, still got another like 8 hours on the drive, but I'm stopping at Buffalo Bills to ride that. I think it's gone now. I don't think they run it anymore.
No.
But it was cool. Just like the roller coaster that wraps around the stratosphere in Las Vegas.
Yeah,
was
I won't ride
garbage.
that.
Yeah,
I
it's
will
It
not
is an
ride that one.
absolutely garbage roller coaster, but it's cool that you're outside of a building that's that high.
I absolutely will never ride that roller
I
coaster.
wanted the
It's
one
gone,
that,
isn't it?
Oh, good.
I think they did get rid of it now, but they still have that ride that like puts you over the edge of the building and then hold you upside
Yeah.
down. I rode that one too. That was awesome.
No way.
Yeah. And then the rocket on the top was meh. It was a great idea, but it shoots you up in the air, but you're already so high that like
You have
your
no
mind
idea
just
that
doesn't
you're
really,
going any
yeah.
higher.
Now you can bungee off of it, right? Is that right?
I think it's an
It's
not a
assisted
bungee.
free fall.
Yeah.
It can't be just a free fall.
It's an assisted free fall,
Oh,
so
an
you're
assisted
you're
free
attached
fall.
to a cable and it slows you down. Yeah.
Gotcha.
What about that roller coaster that goes around the New York? You guys been on that?
I love
I
that
have
roller
been on
that
coaster.
one.
You have?
New York.
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah.
favorite. One of my
I haven't
favorite
been
roller
on that one.
coasters.
That's
Really,
a
it's
fun
fun.
one.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, you're gonna need to see a chiropractor after. That
Yeah,
thing's
it's
pretty
rough.
bumpy.
It's not that bad.
It is. I had a giant headache when I got off that
Huh.
thing.
And
I
they
bought
shut
like
that
an
one
all-day
down when
pass,
it's
and I'm
windy.
like, ugh.
They won't run
All
that
day
one in the
pass for
wind.
one roller coaster?
Two.
Okay. Well, thanks.
Two.
Now that it's two, it's
Well, now
definitely worth it.
Yeah. Well,
And you had a headache after?
yeah, it was pretty rough. But the one at the Sahara, which isn't there anymore, did you ever get on that one? No, that one was
No.
cool.
Mhm.
That one was really cool.
Yeah, it was.
That one, the electromagnet shoots you out of the side of the building, and it's a real sharp curve to the left, goes down underground, does a loop, speeds you up again, and then you shoot straight up, and then you do the whole thing in reverse.
Oh, that's
That
cool.
one was fun.
Okay. Yeah, I remember doing that one. Now that one was fun.
That one was way fun.
See, I do like roller coasters, but when I went to Magic Mountain a couple years ago, that's when I realized I was getting old.
Oh, yeah. It's
It
not
was
the
a rainy
same.
day there, and we just were going nonstop on roller coasters, and I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
My body.
It makes me
So
wonder when you're a kid, because like as a kid, I could spend like all day at Lagoon just nonstop. My parents
Yep.
would be like, it's time to go home. And I get so mad. But like going there as an adult, I'm like, yeah, I think I'm good on the cannibal today.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
the top of my thighs can't take any more hanging from them in a roller coaster.
Every week when we end an episode, we're like, what ride would you want to ride most? And I'm like, usually the roller coaster, and Brandon's like, I want this dark ride that's like really slow through
Yeah.
this building.
Like the train at
Yeah.
Lagoon or something.
not the train. But
just
but
like
Dracula's castle, that's
Yeah.
my
Well,
speed.
yeah,
We go ride that cannibal like 6 times, and then we got to get on the Wild Kingdom train.
That's such a depressing ride.
It is. It
It's
is.
so sad.
cool that it's steam powered.
I used to drive that stupid thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I'm glad you said this because I wanted to bring up the fact we've talked about it on the air
We
that
have,
you've
yeah.
worked at Lagoon. You worked at Lagoon.
I did.
He's got a lot to say about the different color shirts.
I do.
And it's all funny jokes. But you worked on what I would consider the worst ride to be at an amusement park, the log flume.
I did work the log flume.
That's the worst ride.
What? I was
At
Log
Lagoon
Flume's great.
specifically?
Yeah.
I just think log flumes suck. Just anywhere.
Well, I ran the Wild Kingdom train, the log flume, and Rattlesnake Rapids.
I like Rattlesnake Rapids. I
Yeah.
think that the entry and exit time on that ride just take way too long. 'cause
I
the
was
line's
there
always huge.
when they first opened it.
Wow.
That was when I was there.
But like the best part of the log flume is when you go down the hill. The rest of it, you're just kind of like floating around a bathtub.
That was my favorite part.
It is. It's a long bathtub.
Maybe I need to give it a shot now that I'm older. It might be.
Well, it's
nice.
gone now.
Oh, did they get rid of the
got
log
rid of
flume?
the log
They
flume.
got rid of it.
What? It was there last time we were there, wasn't it?
I don't think I saw it, but I didn't notice it was missing either.
Yeah, they got
Yeah.
rid of it.
I noticed it was missing. It was
Oh,
not
you
there.
did?
It was. I don't
Okay.
think it was running when we were there last.
Well, Kurt, I have a question for you.
All right.
Brandon and I always talk about this, and we cannot find any documentation, no photos. And you guys can pitch in. I swear, when I was a little kid on Tidal Wave, those mermaids were not covered up.
Bare breasting it.
Bare breasts.
You know what?
The mermaids at the tidal wave. Where were they located?
On
In the
on
mast.
mast of the ship, yeah.
They're like coming out of the mast.
I never really paid attention.
I couldn't get my eyes off of it. That's why.
I don't know.
For some reason, I have a memory of that.
Oh man.
But I don't. That
Now I'm curious.
it might be a Mandela effect thing where,
Could be,
like,
yeah.
But I'm looking up pictures of it right now just to see.
Yeah. Good luck.
Also, that's one of my favorite rides too. Is I love the tidal wave. I just
Yeah.
think it's fun, and it's
a
I
fun,
kinda-
simple ride.
I'd want to build one of those in my backyard. That would be cool. You guys want to ride the tidal wave?
Yes.
Come on over.
We just covered a park for Christmas. We did a bunch of Christmas theme parks, and there's one in Cascade, Colorado. It's Santa's Workshop, and
Right.
everything is themed to Christmas. And then they just have a tidal wave ride, but it's a NASA ship. And we were like, why didn't they just paint that like Santa's sleigh or something?
Yeah.
NASA ship taking off.
They got it like at an auction somewhere from a different theme park or
That's
something.
probably
Yeah.
100% what it was, and they just never rethemed it.
Like, we
There's
have
a-
to buy this.
There's a black and white picture of the tidal wave.
So I heard they slowed the tidal wave down.
I would agree
Really?
with that.
Mm-hmm.
Either that or when I was a kid, everything was just bigger and better.
No, I heard that. I can't remember where I heard that, but it was so many people complained about.
What's wrong with them?
I know.
Well,
That's
even
what I
still,
heard.
as an adult, if they put that lap bar down, I could easily just like slip right out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I've got a video pulled up with the tidal wave going on, and
There's a website called lagoonhistory.com.
Oh yeah,
Oh, great website.
yeah, we visit
and
quite often.
You
That's
can
awesome.
clearly
I didn't know
see that the mermaids are censored
Censored.
on that.
So this is the new paint job.
Oh,
See, yeah, they recently, I don't know how recent anymore, but they're painted blue all the way up. But when I was a kid, I'm telling you, that was not there.
okay. So we're
this
talking
picture of the tidal
Many
wave
years ago.
doesn't
Many
have
years
10,
ago.
20 years ago, 30 years ago.
Probably like 20,
Okay.
between 20 and 25 years ago.
Oh, this does have the mermaids in it. Okay. There, yeah. Okay, let's see.
It's so hard. I think I know what picture you're looking
It's
at.
the black and white one, and you can't.
You can't
There's
tell.
no way you're gonna be able to tell in this picture.
I've stared at that picture for many hours. Like, is that really what it is? And just trying to figure it out. We can't figure it out.
I mean, it's terrible that if they've covered them up because that was a lot of people's first nipple, It's your first
You gotta
experience.
expose people to the nipple eventually. You
Yeah.
know? I think based on looking at this picture, I think you're right.
I hope so. I
Yeah.
tell myself that.
I think you are.
So much hinges on this.
It really does, yeah.
Lagoon, bring back the nipple.
Free the nipple.
Free the nipple. That's interesting though, because I mean that ride's been there forever.
Yeah.
So of course they change it up and everything. Man, hopefully it's not a man. I believe in you. It was.
Yep.
They were naked. As a kid, that would have made the ride way cooler too. You know, you're like,
That's why I feel like I remember it.
Yeah.
It's my older brother being like, check that out. I was like, oh my gosh, those are boobs right there. I can look at those and it's okay.
I think my earliest childhood memory at Lagoon is the ride. The cars looked like they were hot dogs, but they had guns on it that went.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like I remember being a kid thinking that ride ruled. I was like,
I'm
the
shooting the guy
kid
behind
behind
me.
me is so dead. Just loving it.
Least favorite ride.
The
Ferris
Wild
wheel.
Mouse.
Somebody's
Ooh,
gonna
the
hate
Ferris
me
wheel.
for
I do
this.
not like Ferris wheels.
I love the Ferris wheel.
It's so big.
Yeah, no, that's the best. You're like, dude, I've seen so many people die on these.
Have you?
Yeah, you haven't seen that one girl that like tumbled down a man. That's
no.
not because we don't want to scare you from more things, but I was never really a fan of Puff the Magic Dragon at Lagoon.
That's all right.
Yeah, I remember everybody's like, gotta go on that. When I was a kid, I'm like, no,
That
no.
shit's haunted now.
Yeah,
Is it?
somebody did die on that ride.
Somebody died on that ride.
Yeah,
kid,
kid
yeah.
did.
Dang, I remember that. Man, maybe we shouldn't get that dark. I remember that. Yeah, I'm gonna do it anyway. I remember that we went to Lagoon, and the same year that guy died on the Sky Coaster,
Oh,
Oh yeah,
which is just like basically a ski lift.
the Sky Ride.
Yeah, the Sky Ride. I just remember like we were going across the Sky Ride, looking down. Like, I wonder if we can see where the
See his body
jumped
print.
off. It's like some smashed flowers in the flower bed. I'm like, oh, possible. But that kid just seemed like he was crazy, and that just goes to show you that no matter what, if somebody's going to try hard, like you said, you could slip out on the tidal wave. If somebody tried hard enough, they could do it, and you can't stop people from doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're just lucky that it didn't get shut down because of that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you.
Everybody go check out the Amusement Park Road Trip podcast. And then you guys got to let us know if you're going to Lake Lagoon, or we can let you know too. We should, you guys got to come to Lagoon when we do it next summer.
Let's
just
do it.
have a day.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
We'll see if we can pin down the guy, the ride guy.
The ride guy.
Remember when we got off the cannibal and he wouldn't tell us?
That's
Yeah.
right.
I
So
was
we
like,
sent
"God,
Lagoon an email too. We're like, hey, we're a podcast. We want to talk about this ride, but didn't hear back.
I think it'd be really cool if they could give you like a behind the scenes thing, you know? Like
Mhm.
that would be sweet, just to see what goes into maintaining the rides, and it's a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like what we did today.
That's a lot.
Thank you guys again
Yes,
so
thank
much.
you.
Yeah,
We
thank
really
you.
appreciate it. There's more show if you're listening. It's episode 300, so we did a little bit extra. We've got Taylor Close, Taylor Dunn coming on the show next, and then David Jimenez
Yes.
from Quito's Brewery. So stick around. A little more casual than what we did, but it's always casual. I mean, we're just casual.
We're always
in general.
casual.
Yeah, so stick around, and we'll be right back. And we're back. Episode 300.
Yay!
Celebration.
Let's go.
Celebration. Yeah. We turn my headphones up a little bit.
Yeah.
The man needs more snare in his headphones.
There we go. Perfect. I just have that big of an ego. I got to hear myself.
Oh,
laugh.
That's what
Sounds
I've
about
heard.
right.
I know. That's the thing that I've been working on a lot over the last 300 episodes, is like not being so egotistical about it.
Yeah.
You know, because everywhere I go, you know, like I go to the Pearl on Main with Taylor, and I'm like, hey, I'm from the Weekly InSalt. You don't know me?
It's never like that.
Give me
Never
some
like
fucking
that.
beer.
Whatever. You know it's the vice versa. We carry you guys on a high pedestal.
Oh
you know?
yeah, we carry you guys the same way. You know?
Designated seating, you know.
Are you not going to introduce our new guests?
Yeah, so in studio we've got Taylor and Taylor, just to confuse you guys listening.
Yes.
Let's go.
Taylor Dunn, Taylor Close, chef. Actually, you are technically the official,
Yeah.
the
That's
Weekly
right.
InSalt culinary expert.
Oh, you have a
Nice.
title?
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
Do you get a check for that?
Same
Maybe
check y'all
someday.
have.
Okay.
And then Taylor Dunn from the Pearl and Main. You guys know all about him.
Thanks for having us back out. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Dude, it's too bad that, John had to go to church.
Yeah,
Yeah.
church,
So
you know.
bummer, man,
It gets to people sometimes. Hey, some people's churches are in their garage, you know
Hey.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Maybe I should re-register the company as a church.
Do it,
Yeah.
dude, yeah.
Weekly
The
Insult
Church of Wade.
Church. No, the Weekly Insult Church.
What if people
That
just
would
started
be
like...
egotistical as fuck. I swear it's not a cult, guys.
Yeah.
I think we got enough listeners that we can qualify as a church.
Or a cult.
Yeah.
I'd be down.
That's exactly where I was going. People are just gonna start showing up, dude. It's gonna be scary.
That'd be scary.
Just start calling him Jared Leto.
Yeah, dude. Oh, God.
Didn't he have an island or something that, like, I heard that, he would...
Rape Island or something?
Whoa. We're not talking about Epstein.
Sorry.
Come on, guys. We don't need to go down that road.
That's true. It's 300, guys. Come on.
300.
Yeah, we're
Class it
supposed to
up.
be having fun. But no, I think that 30 Seconds from Mars would do a concert on this island, but it was super exclusive. And then they would require that everybody that showed up wore, like, white clothes.
Oh,
I was
interesting.
like,
Did they serve Kool-Aid?
Yes.
they're all still alive. So no, but
Yeah, there was some cult thing or something.
there was
with
something
it.
about that, I think, yeah.
Sounds like a Leto move.
It does, doesn't
Yeah.
it? I actually knew a chick that dated him for a while.
Wow.
And she was like, yeah, I used to date Jared Leto. No big deal. I'm like, what the fuck? First of all, nobody asked.
Right?
Second of all, you seem proud of it. But he was apparently a nice guy. So, can't
Nice.
hate on him, you know?
How
that's
long ago was this,
co-leader.
though?
This was years ago.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
long time ago. Like back before he was in movies and shit.
Before he went crazy?
Yeah, before he went crazy and started a cult and then called himself Jesus, you know?
Yeah.
I don't
Wow.
think he ever called himself Jesus. He just grew the hair out, you know?
Well, you don't start a cult and don't claim to talk to some higher power, right? So,
Voices in
That's
your
true.
head.
yeah.
The problem
Or
with
be the
cults,
higher
though,
power.
the problem with cults is that eventually there's going to be that one guy that comes by is like, y'all like guns?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you end up with a Waco, Texas thing.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, which was insane.
Nuts.
But that's crazy, dude. Like, yes, we all like guns. We live in America. We don't need them to protect us from something that isn't really happening.
Yeah. That isn't real.
Yeah. The cops are onto us. We need guns.
Yeah.
If the cops are onto you, maybe you're already fucked up.
Yeah. What are they onto you for, you know?
Yeah.
Quick, everybody drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Aliens are coming.
It's like hopefully you've established your guns before the cops are onto you.
Yeah. Because you know that shit isn't registered. You gotta get those got to be black market cult guns. You know, you can't go down to like Bass Pro Shop and be like, I want all the guns.
Do you get those in the underground?
Yeah. Ghost
There was
guns.
a joke in there.
It was good. I was trying to play off of it, but then I realized that all of them would have been inappropriate responses.
So what else is new?
Ches has done the show before. It's been a long time though that we've been doing this, man.
Yeah, it really
You know,
has.
Started out with just 2 microphones and a table, and then it evolved into what it is now, which is crazy. I've met people that I never thought I would meet. You know, we had UFC light heavyweight champion on the show. We've had a sex therapist clown on the show. We've had Bobby Brady, from
Yeah.
the Brady
Yeah.
Bunch
Yeah,
on the
Bobby
show.
Brady.
Mike
Yeah.
Lookinland.
Yeah.
Mike
Good
Lookinland,
one.
shout out to him and his band. We'll be playing at the Pearl on New Year's Eve.
Yeah. Yeah. 31st.
Yeah, we've had our tarot cards read on the show.
Yeah, that was crazy too. Yeah.
Yeah.
You cried.
I did cry.
Yeah, you've cried. You haven't been there that long. And
I've
you've cried
cried.
twice as much as I have. On the show.
I think I've cried at least 5 times already.
I thought it was like
Maybe
twice.
3, 2.
Man,
Something
you're
like
good
that.
at hiding it.
No.
That's how much that she's like constantly on
You're
the
good at
verge
hiding
of
it.
tears. Invite me to do
Welcome
this.
to my life.
Yeah, we had one where we recorded a podcast and a YouTube video at the same time.
We did. That
Oh,
was
nice.
dude. Shout out back to episode number 10.
That was episode 10. First time we ever had guests.
And I was nervous. That one made me nervous as hell.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh shit, because they had showed up with the camera guy. It was Megan and
Bobby.
Bobby, yeah.
And the cameraman Ryan.
The cameraman was Ryan, and I remember being like, "Oh shit, these guys are so far above us." Like being a YouTube channel, you know, they did really good. Their
Did they?
YouTube channel was great. It just didn't catch traction, really. You know, it's kind of hard to get sucked up in the algorithm,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
which is the reason I still have a day job. you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can find it. Go look for Think It's Easy making a podcast. So
Yeah.
their show was Think It's Easy and then making a podcast.
I went back and watched it, and I had to turn it off, dude.
It was,
Yeah.
is it really that bad?
I mean, they set us up as if we were podcast professionals on episode 10.
So yeah, we had done 9 episodes.
Yeah,
and thought it was a good idea to
we
bring on
thought
guests.
Were you still at the table?
shit, dude. Yeah,
In the
we were.
kitchen?
No, we were down
No.
here.
Oh,
Yeah, but we thought we were the shit, man. We were so stoked for that. You realize nobody cares.
Yeah, then you're like,
Just about everything in life. Like, nobody cares. Taylor, you make great food, but nobody cares.
Yeah.
I do.
I care.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Isn't that crazy?
I haven't had it yet. So.
That your job is literally to make something that gets eaten.
No.
Oh.
That's the point. That's why
I don't know, because I think sometimes, like, I'm a software developer, so if, like, the internet goes down, my life means nothing.
Well, the thing is, though, the stuff he's making is intended to go to shit.
Yeah.
Nice.
Dude, that would be a really meta restaurant to be like, the food might not look good, but we're thinking about how it comes out.
Yeah.
It's very high in fiber. Ever since Lara was like, you guys always talk about poop.
Yeah.
We have to bring it up every show.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's it, though, for the rest of the 3 hours or whatever, however long we're stuck here.
Well, I did have my first
Eternity.
bidet experience.
You did? Yeah, you
Yeah,
bought a
my hand
bidet.
surgery, yeah.
I'm jealous.
It
I've
was
been wanting
quite
one for a
intrusive,
while.
man. I was a little shocking.
So did you get the one that just like sits under the toilet seat?
It's on, yeah.
Is
it's
it
on,
a toilet seat? Or
It is
does
a toilet seat, yeah.
Yeah, you have to replace yours. Replace your
The seat's
existing
heated.
seat with
Yeah.
this
The water's
machine.
heated, the air
It's got a
dryer,
light in
it's
it.
got a light in it.
Yep.
Does
Oh,
front,
so you
back,
got one
dry.
of the really good ones.
Yeah, it takes some adjusting. Back and forth of the. It was quite intrusive. It was like, oh.
And I thought the poop was the edgy stuff.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Technically, we are still talking about poop.
Does it have front and back wash?
Yes, it does.
Well, front wash is
For women.
For women.
Whatever,
That would be
dude.
crazy if you just bought one with only backwash.
Chez is super interested.
I'm not seeing the bad part of that either. Little ball
bidet-
tickle, dude.
Yeah.
I was going to work a joke in there at one point. Like, why has Laura been in the bathroom for 15 minutes?
Dude, if
Going
you,
on 20.
if you haven't tried a bidet, you have to. They're amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know why the
It
whole
is
world doesn't have them.
life-changing.
Yeah. Would you, like, now that you've experienced it, would you ever go back to regular toilet?
No. Mm-mm.
No.
Just sitting on a heated seat is awesome.
Yeah.
And when your lights off in the bathroom, you get up in the middle of the night, you open
Yeah,
the
yeah,
door.
you don't have to worry about it.
I'm gonna
it's like,
fly
what
out to
up?
Japan for my first bidet experience.
Are you?
Yeah, because I want the weird anime music to play too.
Thank you for your deposit.
They're dancing and shit.
I guess that's as good
The
as an
fucking
excuse as
toilet's
any to go to Japan.
Yeah.
Thanks for shitting me.
Yeah.
Have a nice day.
I don't know. I just want my bidet to do its thing. I don't need it to talk to me or like show me a fucking Attack on Titan episode while I'm taking it.
That sounds awesome, dude.
That might be cool. Just like
I'm
have
not
some,
gonna
Let's just not talk about it. Let's just
No.
not talk about it.
my engineering mind is creating patents. And
I was having this weird thought about playing battleships, but
battleships.
Nice.
You can actually do
You
that
can
in
do
my
it.
house because the toilets are back to back. And so when I had roommates in the past, it'd be like, I can hear you shit. And they're like, yeah, I'm going to shit harder than you. It's like, oh, what? Battleships. I'm like, oh, man.
you do that in public bathrooms.
Yeah.
No, I got beat out on a battle shit in a casino, and I will never do it again. Was that
I want to hear that.
I went to a casino. I was checking out. I went there down for DEF CON, the conference, and I'm in the casino and getting ready to leave, take the flight back, and I go down and turn my key card in, and as soon as I did that, I instantly had to take a crap. So I'm like, so I asked him, like, can I just get the card back real quick? I just need to go up there and like take a poop, and I'll be right back. And the lady's like, nope, the bathroom's right there. And I was like, damn it. So I go in there and I'm like, yes, nobody else is in here for a casino. That's crazy. And so I
Super nuts.
sit down and get ready to do my business, and then I see somebody walk in, and I'm like, because I don't want to like fully just blast. You know what I mean? I don't know how much sound it's going to make.
No
so I'm being
fucks given,
courteous,
just-
Yeah.
I wasn't old enough to. I still had fucks. Yeah. Not anymore. But this guy comes
Shit
in,
out of
and I
fucks
just
now.
see these. Yeah, I just see these cowboy boots, and then he goes in the stall and just. And I started laughing, and I was like, "Holy!"
Oh my God.
I was like, "Dude, I have never heard anybody shit with so much confidence."
Lifted himself off the
he
toilet.
was loving it, dude. Oh, no.
Like Austin Powers. Who does number 2 work for?
It was great. And ever since then, I was like, nope, I got beat. I tap out of the battle shits. At that moment. And I think to this day, he's still battling people in casino bathrooms.
And probably still winning.
And he doesn't give a shit.
Long live the man,
definitely
dude.
leaving one.
All right, enough poop talk.
Oh, there's plenty more. It's a long day. I mean, you run the venue, man. Like you have to deal with public restroom, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like what happens in some of the bathrooms. Our bathrooms aren't very big. You know, 2 urinals
clean,
and 1 stall. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. That's because I clean them by hand. By hand.
Yeah.
If I had a power drill that could do it, I'd do that too. You know what I mean?
Dude, you know, like I think that the bathrooms in San Francisco have it figured out, dude. You remember those? We're walking on the pier and you go in there. They're meant for the whole, like the toilet sucks in and everything covers up and then it just pressure washes the whole room.
Yes.
In between
cool.
people taking
Yes.
poop. Yeah. And then the toilet comes back out and everything uncovers and the next person can go in there.
That's tight.
Wow.
That's they got it figured out.
Yeah, that's ideal.
I heard
right there.
those things like quit working after like 2 weeks.
Oh, I'm
You're
sure.
probably right.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
Great
you were there
idea.
like right when they released them, and like 2 weeks later they were all broken and vandalized.
It was pretty old, the one that
Yeah.
I went into, and I was like, "This is the craziest bathroom." And then it's got this plaque on the outside that tells you how cool it is. Like, damn, how much you raise taxes to put this in? Well, you guys live in San Francisco. You got the money.
Till it shuts on you and then you can't get out.
You
I
get
know,
stuck in
'cause
the
I-
wash cycle.
And I think that this is my opinion, but I think they're okay with that because like the homeless people can take a shower.
That's what I was gonna say.
Just lock yourself in the wash cycle and
Yeah, better than the fountains.
hell yeah. Better than jumping in the pier. They're in the water right by the pier, like where the sea
Yeah.
lions are, you know?
Mm-hmm.
True. That's a good point.
You don't have to jump in there, but it'd be more fun. Actually, I think sea lions are kind of mean.
Aren't sea lions what like pirates used to have sex with? Like,
What?
Oh, that's manatees.
my
Yeah.
fault. My fault. Yeah.
I thought that was mermaids.
No, that's what they called them.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what they called them.
That's funny. Yeah, they're
Myth or something.
let's go back to talking about poop.
We had DJ abilities last night at the
Dude,
venue. That was pretty cool.
I gotta tell this story, man.
Yeah.
I shook his hand, had the weirdest handshake. I'm
Them
telling
fish?
you. Can I demonstrate on you, Chaz?
Let's see.
Go in for the normal handshake, right?
yeah.
Oh,
I feel like he held his hand like a woman in Victorian times would when you like kiss
that's
their
exactly
hand.
yeah.
And I was like, dude, I almost accidentally kissed his hand. and then
thought he-
James brought up something. James South.
I
brought
thought
up
he
something.
did one of these. Like
He did like for me. He just did like the limp hand, and it
was a
wasn't
dead
even.
fish.
There was like no. Usually when you handshake, you lock the thumbs. You know, you get a good grip.
Yeah.
He just went like. No offense, Taylor. He just went like, "Hey." I was expecting like a "What up, man?"
Yeah.
But he did have soft hands. I'll tell you that much.
He's got, you need soft
He
hands.
moisturizes for sure.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
James yelled that out in the middle of the concert. Love your soft hands. He's like, "Hey, ain't that soft?" He like got kind of. Everybody's laughing. Look over at James. I'm like, "Did you really just yell that?" He's like, "Yeah, you had soft hands, dude." And then at the end of the show, he was high fiving everybody in the front, and James like, "They get to feel his soft hands."
Oh man,
It was we ran into him.
it was so funny.
Just leaving the venue. We went back to the bar for a minute, and,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he jumped out of an Uber, and I look over at James, and he's staring at this dude that just got out of the Uber. I'm like, maybe he's just going to the show, and he's like, "Are you abilities?" He's like, "Yeah, man." Hell yeah! And then I'm like,
crazy.
"Shit, that is him." So now I got to shake his hand,
Yep.
which I'm usually fine with that, but I was a little bit further ahead of James, so I had to walk back for
For
that handshake. Very talented guy, though. It was cool, man.
Yeah, great set.
definitely-
It was cool.
There's definitely not people that scratch vinyl anymore, like truly DJ like
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
cool
the
to
old
see.
old hip hop style. Yep.
he's merging it with like rock music, which was interesting,
Yeah,
different.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It was definitely an interesting set. It was interesting from the venue side too. That's a pretty big name, you know,
Yeah.
coming from a big record label.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty cool to have somebody like that in the space.
Yeah.
And to say that it, you know, quantifies or qualified for somewhere that he thought would be worthy to play.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. It was really cool.
Dude, and that's always the struggle. Speaking of like 300 episodes, I know that we had talked about wanting to talk about the podcast, but same thing with the venue, you know, like we go through the same thing. Like what we were talking about before the show, there's super highs, really high highs in podcasting or booking any kind of guests.
Yep.
And then there's super low lows. Like
Yep.
I would be a liar if I didn't say there were many times that I just wanted to quit.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to do it anymore. You know, like why am I giving up my Sundays every weekend
Yep.
to record something that I know you all are listening to because I see the numbers, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. It's just, it gets to the point where it's like, we got to have guests, right? And if you don't have guests, like how long can you sit there and listen to me talk about the same shit? And it makes you want to quit. But when it's good, man.
For sure.
When you book people like that, dude, you probably feel like, hell yeah. This is why we're doing it, you know?
Yeah.
But like we can't do that without people like you guys listening, you know? I wouldn't do it. I might still do it and just for myself, I don't know. Just to talk to Ches every now and then.
I say that was always our thing, you know.
Yeah, that's
true.
true.
We're doing it, you know, because we enjoy it, and even if it's just us, we're gonna do it for us. So
yeah,
just sit down and talk to each other.
It gets tough though, man. Like I think the joke goes around that like anybody can have a podcast. Yeah, you're right. Anybody can. It's just not everybody does.
Right.
Yeah.
You know? And it's the doing that's the hard part.
Yeah.
It's not just about showing up in the studio once a week, you know, and talking. It's like we have behind the scenes booking stuff. We go to places like the Utah Beer Festival. We go to events at other places, at venues, just to get the name out there and network. And you never know who will be on the show. And sometimes you have like 30 people interested, and then you send them all an email. And you don't hear anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, what?
It's frustrating.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we're still here 300 in.
Yeah.
And I think we've missed like 5 episodes?
Something like that.
Maybe.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe 5. We've gotten some taken down, requested to be taken down. Which,
well, yeah, I mean, I'm saying there's maybe only been 5 weeks that haven't had an episode put out.
Yeah, but not including the ones that got requested to be taken down.
Yes.
Yeah. Some of them were really crazy. Like, I'll just put them on blast. And I don't care. The Delta Center made us take an episode down.
Oh, yeah. Yep, they did.
And I invited them. I said, I don't necessarily agree with it, but yes, I'll take it down. But why don't you come on the show and explain to us what we got wrong then? And nope.
Yeah.
Whatever, you know, cool. I'll take it down because that's one thing that I've always lived by. I think we all have is I don't want to put out something that people aren't comfortable with. You know, I'm not a shock jock. I'm not that. We're not that as a podcast. I just want to make sure that we'll have fun. You know.
Yeah.
And I just had to take some down the other night too, but that's okay. I'm fine with that.
Happens.
It does happen.
It's just one of those things, especially like with the internet, you know, it's a really temperamental and it's a really sensitive space, you know, and not a lot of people really consider that, but there's a lot of stuff that you got to be considerate when you put it online, you know, so
it stays there forever.
It really does.
And like broadcasting things on the internet too, like people get weird about that.
Yeah.
You know, like we've had people that, like when we're doing like TikTok videos occasionally, and Kurt will usually film those, but we usually ask, like, are you cool with being on camera?
Yeah.
You know, because you never know. Some people, and especially with this, we've had guests on here that we basically can't use their real name, so they use an alias, you know, and we're always respectful of that. Never going to force anybody to do something they don't want to, but it's weird with the internet like that. You know?
Yeah, it's just it just provides an interesting dynamic into the whole in environment, you know.
Yeah.
But it's cool when you can kind of see the advantages of it, and you can weigh out or scale out the disadvantages above.
There are some weird side effects too. Like Laura just gave out her first autograph.
I did.
Nice. Nice.
It's like before you know it, you're going to be signing boobs.
And not just your own.
Yeah, it was like your own don't count.
That's funny.
Practice on your own boobs. That's
left-handed, no less.
That's a crazy power move, dude. And you're like some girls like, I've always been a fan, Laura. When you sign my boobs, you're like, I've been practicing.
I've been waiting for this moment.
No, but that's always weird too, because we don't do it for that, you know. And I think it's crazy when I meet somebody and they're like, dude, are you on the Weekly InSalt? I'm like, yeah, man. Oh, yeah. And then they instantly know everything about me.
Yeah.
They've listened to the episodes, you know? And I'm like, what's your name? You know, like, your name is. I don't know anything about you. But it's cool. It's cool that people listen. It's cool that we've been able to entertain and meet people that we never thought we would, you know? Like, I think things would be a lot different, even with just the relationship with the Pearl on Mid, you know?
Yeah.
It'd be different if it was just like I'm just a random dude at the bar, you know, and
For sure.
but talking with you guys and wanting to support each other. Like, that makes it that adds another layer of fun to it. To
exactly.
help build things up. You know?
Yeah, that you got to be community strong. You know, that's
For
what
sure.
keeps people around, and that's what you can really build off of. Good structure.
Yeah, solid foundation.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
And good friends that support us.
Yeah.
That believe. That's the hardest part. Is there's two different types of people that come into the venue. There's the people that see it and say, "Holy shit, this is so overwhelming." Like, how do you manage this? You know, how do you come in here and do this stuff? And then there's the other people that are like, "Oh man, there's all these beautiful ideas and there's all these things."
Yeah.
And those are the people that resonate with us, you know, because that's where we want to thrive, and that's because we believe in that too.
There is a weird culture these days too of like not voicing your opinion, you know.
Yeah.
And I think we were talking about this last night. I think there's really interesting when it comes to the podcast. This is a business, and so sometimes as a business you have hard conversations. But that doesn't mean I'm not like your guys' friend. You know, it's like when it comes to business is business.
Exactly.
And you just need to talk about the hard shit sometimes. You know, like.
Yep.
And I've come up to you one night and I was like, "Dude, what's going on with the mix?" I'm like, "No offense, it kind of sounds like shit."
Sounds like shit.
And then you explained to me the process that happened, and I was like, yeah, I can see how we got here. Like, shit, now I want to help you. Like, now I'm thinking about coming up with a solution, you know? Instead of worrying about you being mad. I knew you wouldn't be, or else I would've said.
No, yeah.
So I'm like, now we can start the real work.
Yeah.
Which is like, let's think about how we solve the problem instead of being worried about talking about it. From the
Exactly.
beginning,
Because we already know the problems. You know what I mean? We know what it is. It's just like, okay, well, how can we get there now? How do we get to the end result, the final product? Yeah. The fix.
Don't even being like a software developer, you have to be humble too, because I know how to code very well.
For sure.
For 20 years, but every now and then I have to get on the phone with somebody and say, this shit's broken, I don't know what's going on. They're like, oh, you forgot a semicolon.
Something
character,
simple,
you know?
like that. Yeah.
But that second set of eyes or that second person thinking about it differently can make all the difference, you know? I think it's super important. And we've spent plenty of time in how many hours of meetings do you think we did to come up with the name The Weekly InSalt? It had to have been like 8 hours of meetings at least.
I was going to say way more than that.
Or more, yeah.
I was probably closer to 40.
Yeah.
I mean, not all at once.
If you include coming up with the intro song or picking the intro song we wanted to, like, yeah, it wasn't like. That's the thing is it's like now it's easy to think like, oh yeah, that's a great name, but yeah, we've spent hours thinking about that. Like we came up. What were some of the other options we came up with that were just dog shit?
Oh, I don't remember.
I think there was a lot of them. But then the Weekly InSalt, and I was like, that's so perfect.
Yeah. That's a great name, yeah.
Yeah. And
I came on shortly after that, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been through a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's cool.
It's just not something that happens overnight. The Pearl, you know, that doesn't happen overnight. It's going to be an ongoing thing. And
yeah.
You're going to have to sit in boring meetings and stuff.
Oh, plenty of those already.
Yeah, a couple of really cool events coming up too, right?
Yeah, we got a couple of events. We have Jerry Joseph coming up on the 20th and
That's
the 21st.
Because today is Wednesday, the 20th.
So that would be tonight. My fault.
You got to travel in
I
time here.
Got to remember where we are. Yeah.
That's the other thing, dude.
realm.
Like so this has been a marathon week for us because the holidays are hard to book.
Yeah.
And thank you, Laura and Kurt, because you guys hung in there. This was a rough week.
It was a rough week.
Yeah.
This
I got
is our
back from
third
St. George on the 12th, and we recorded an episode that night. And then that was released on the 13th, and then we recorded on the 14th to be released on the 27th, and then right in the mix of all that, Ches is like, what are we doing for episode 300? I'm like, I don't know, dude. I'm just trying to close the year out, you know? And we came up with, like, just having a longer episode today for you guys, and I think it's great. Just hanging out, you know? Talking with the Taylors.
The Taylors, T-squared today.
What's up?
Yeah, man. Dude, speaking of great podcast names, Talking with the Taylors.
Yeah.
There you go.
The studio's only used once a week. If you guys want another night, let me know.
There you go.
You guys might be able to pick up people thinking it might be like a Taylor Swift podcast or something.
Yeah, there you go.
Dude, that might
Get
be
a
a
lot of
sick way to
confused
get Taylor
listeners.
Swift on the
yeah.
show.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift would have to go on that podcast.
Yes.
We're like, now we're just two dudes,
us up,
one
Taylor.
tall, one short. Both named
What
Taylor.
a crazy gimmick too! Like, and you only book people named Taylor.
Yeah, there
You
you
just
go.
like really discriminate. Like, what's your name? Oh, my name's Wade. Sorry, you can't be on the show.
No.
Yeah.
You have to legally change your name to Taylor.
I would do it for one day to be on the show. I'd go down to the city building, change my name to Taylor, get
Hell
all
yeah.
of the paperwork done, and then the next day I'll go back and change it to Wade.
Tight.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's sweet.
I think there might be a waiting
Haunt you
period.
for the rest of your life.
It also sounds like the start of a cult.
Yeah.
Also,
Full
not
circle.
down for that.
That's just the first full circle.
Yeah. But yeah, so we have Jerry Joseph, which will be today and then tomorrow, and then on the 30th we have Whiskey Dilemma.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're a little bit of a pop band, so
Yeah.
should be pretty good. Jerry Joseph will be a sick show though. People should come out.
What kind
Is
of
she?
what kind of show is it?
We'll be doing an acoustic guitar set.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah. So he's a singer-songwriter, really, really talented, been in the game for a long time. I can't remember where he's based out of, unfortunately.
You gonna
but
stream that one too?
We're going to try.
Nice.
Yeah, we're going to, Honey Pot Productions is going to be the one that's promoting for that show. And then we'll have El Rancho, the food truck from the bar Peeps.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Dave's
yeah.
wife.
El Rancho
Yep.
Grande.
Yep.
Yeah.
They'll be down on the 20th tonight.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Just go for the food. People travel really far for their food.
They
yeah,
do.
it's
yeah.
great.
Crazy.
It's
It's crazy.
delicious. Yeah.
That's one thing that's been great about the Pearl, though, is that, like, it's kind of relighting that spark of going to shows, you know?
Yeah.
And not just, because, like, when I was younger, I'd go to shows that I wanted to go see. You know, you buy the tickets to ones to people you will know, but it's cool to just go there and see who's there. You
Yeah.
know? And, like, don't necessarily always enjoy the music, but it's cool to go to a show, you know?
For
And
sure.
it's like, you never know what the openers and stuff. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like live shows have just been falling off lately. Like, I don't understand why.
It's
you know?
dying. Yeah, it's definitely a dying thing. You know,
People
people
don't want to get off their ass.
they don't go to the movies anymore.
Yeah.
They don't do any of that stuff. You know what I mean? People just don't get out as much anymore. So trying to reinvigorate that for the street and for the venue is kind of
Yeah.
what the ideal is. You know,
Yeah.
so
It's nice to have a smaller venue too, instead of like, I don't know, I don't always want to go to the Maverick Center or go to like the Complex.
And you don't
Complex
want-
is great, but it's just
you don't always
far.
want to have to pay $45 either to go
Exactly.
see three
True, yeah.
bands.
And
You
that's
know what
true.
I mean?
Pay for
Like,
parking and
yeah,
Mhm.
yep. Have a bar that's literally like 12 feet down the street.
Yeah.
You know.
That's true.
So, yeah, just stuff like that is kind of why the venue just made sense to us in the first place. Premium location. There's like nobody around us that can offer the same quality of sound and the occupancy that we can offer.
Mhm.
And then, you know, obviously being able to have alcohol there is great too. So, and stay all ages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and,
it's
and
just
the
pretty
networking
bomb.
that happened, like
Yeah.
networking with the bar with that food truck.
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been great for us, and it's been awesome that the community's been so supportive as well. So
Do you have
we
a full?
we really
You don't have a full
appreciate it.
kitchen in there.
No.
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 Shit, I was gonna say maybe we could do our pop up there, man.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
We
Yeah.
need a friggin' restaurant on the street, bro. I'm telling you, you guys should
We
talk to
do.
the city. They're doing all sorts of promotions to get like new businesses inside of there. So if we could just get like a nice restaurant in there with like to-go food, oh man, we would transcend the street.
There on the corner where the bank used to be.
What would you
Yeah,
name your
that would
restaurant?
be amazing,
Taylor?
yeah.
If you open a restaurant
No clue, man.
like Tay Tay's Hey Hay's.
That's amazing.
Tomorrow's shit.
Yeah.
Great name.
I'd eat there.
Yeah. Same.
Well, should we take a break? You guys want to take a break?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
let's
right,
go.
we can take a quick break. We'll be right back. We're back. Episode 300.
Yay!
Yay.
Taylor and Taylor.
Let's go.
Yeah. Dude, Taylor, you're a chef.
Yeah.
I would almost dare say professional chef.
I mean, yeah, I would hope so.
Well, he's getting paid for it, so I think that defines professional.
Yeah, I mean,
I do get
it's
paid
your
for
career.
it, so
It's your
yeah,
career.
yeah.
You're a professional chef, 100%. What are like the new food trends going on? Have you seen anything weird that you're like, I'm a chef, but I ain't doing that?
No, not so much. I don't really follow a lot of like the viral shit. I tend to base most of my cooking off of classical techniques and stuff that I learned when I was younger. There's some cool, like we did something couple months back where we were doing a tasting menu, and I got sent this video from my executive chef of this guy that he makes pizzas, but he bakes the crust with rocks in it, and then he pulls the rocks out and he fills each little pocket with a different sauce.
Okay.
Or something.
Kind of like
it looks really cool. It turned out really poorly. We don't have a proper pizza oven, so the doughs just weren't very good. But
that's kind of one of those things, like, the uni oven became super popular. Like backyard pizza ovens became a thing.
Yeah, they're awesome. They're super cool.
I've heard they're great, but I don't want to spend $500 on one.
Yeah, they're definitely a little pricey.
You have to really like pizza a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you can probably cook other shit in there too. But
you definitely can.
Yeah,
bread
bake a
and
pie.
shit.
As long as it fits. Yeah, a pie, it might be a little hot for a pie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've got the big green eggs, so
Okay.
I mean you can get that thing up 700-800 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome for cooking pizzas.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can you make a pie in it?
Yeah, you
Okay.
I can control how high.
that's Laura's baseline. Is like, can you make a pie?
Well, does it make pie though? Oh, it makes pie, then we're good.
We're good.
We're
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I
Sign
can dial
me
it
up.
in and get it right to at 350, 375, wherever you want to bake that pie. So
$350.
So you just need a regular ass
Way too
oven.
hot. Yeah, pizza oven's not gonna be what you're looking for. That's like, really hot.
I was talking to Kurt about converting the Traeger into a cold smoker, like just adding like a dryer vent pipe off of the flue, and then running it through a container of ice, so you could cold smoke like salmon or cheese or something. That'd be cool, man. Smoke your own salmon? Who does that?
I never
I
thought
think
about it
actually,
like
I
that.
think there's kits you can buy to do it.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there is.
I think you can copy it cheaper.
Yeah, you probably just can go to Home Depot.
Fuck
Cardboard
Home Depot,
blocks and
Harbor Freight, baby.
Yeah, Harbor Freight special, hell yeah.
Harbor Freight.
I think that Harbor Freight, there is things that you should shop there for.
Oh, it's the best store.
Specifically things that you don't really give a shit about.
I mean, if you're going to use the tool once a year, it doesn't matter if you buy the top of the line.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just don't get carjacks or, stands. Or
Yeah, be careful with that.
Pretty sure they had a couple of recalls.
Isn't that crazy that somebody would go to Harbor Freight and buy like a cheap ass jack and then put their body underneath a car that would kill them? You know?
No,
Like,
I'm
do
not
people
surprised
think
by
about
that at all. No, they don't care.
I get freaked out climbing under a car anytime.
Yeah.
It's
I
scary.
Even
wouldn't
with
do
the
it.
good equipment, I'm like, this shit's gonna kill me.
It's
I won't
scary.
even stand 10 feet from a car if there's a jack under it.
I mean, you're kind of the exception though, because you just are accident prone.
I think they call it klutzy.
No, because I don't think you're a klutz. I think you're just like a badass that you'll just do anything, and so you're more prone to getting hurt because you're like you just. You're
But I
like,
won't
you
jump
just
out of
send
a
it.
plane.
Yeah, you will.
No.
One day. That's what we should have done.
You'll
for
fall out of
300.
a plane. How about that?
I'll get
Skydiving,
pushed.
Yeah.
I would skydive a million times before bungee jumping. We've talked about that. Bungee
Yeah.
jumping is like freaks me the shit out.
I would bungee jump.
See, that blows my mind. That makes no logical sense. I'll bungee. I'll put my life in
On
the
this
hands
rubber
of a
band.
rubber band, but not jump out with somebody attached who also wants to live. So they probably pack their parachute really well. you know?
Yeah.
And the bungee jumping.
That's not a guarantee.
Actually,
That's why it's fun.
so I've been skydiving. I'm not going to say the company that I went with, but the jumpers don't pack their own chutes.
Yeah, it depends on the place too, but.
Yeah,
I mean,
they've got to jump 20 times a day, so they just hand the chute off to somebody who packs it, and then they just grab one that's ready.
They also don't want to die though. Still,
Of course not, but they are taking a risk.
Yeah.
Oh
But
yeah.
I think most of the time, though, the people that are packing those chutes are, people they trust to pack a chute for them.
Well,
I mean, if
shit. It's
you're
probably
just-
some 16-year-old they got stashed down at the bottom of there, dude.
My
The
theory is
intern.
everybody
Fast
has
as
a
hell
bad
at
day.
it. Yeah.
It's like, check it out, guys. I made a swan. Packs it in the chute.
He's like, dude, make sure you look up when you throw this one, dude. It's gonna be sick.
Well, they've got that certified reserve, so
Yeah.
Certified how?
the reserve chutes have to be packed by a FAA certified chute packer, and it has to be repacked every 90 days.
They have bad days too.
90 days?
Yes.
I'll bet that costs $200 too, right?
Probably.
Yeah, the guy from the FAA is just a dick about it. I'm giving you a deal, dude. Your life is in my hands. I should charge you $400.
But if you're running a jump site, you probably have
On staff.
guys that are the FAA certified to pack your chutes.
I'm sure that's a lot easier than we are anticipating once you're in that realm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's probably like a 5-year renewal program kind of thing.
Would you fly in a spaceship to space before
No.
you would skydive? No?
Neither. Mm-mm.
No? Okay. Shit. You into no Jeff Bezos
Why-
penis rocket thing?
I'm not an astronaut.
Dude, I
took
totally
me years
would,
to get
man.
over fear of flying. So.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
You had a fear of just flying in general?
Yeah.
I think it's kind of fun.
Flying scares me too.
Yep.
I
But,
hate
like, the way I look at it is if you die on an airplane, like, that's kind of cool.
No, it's not.
If
it's
you're
just the
like,
dying part.
if
It's
you're like,
not
how
where
did,
it is.
how did Laura
or,
pass
like,
away? Oh, she went peacefully in her sleep. Oh, come on. Better story than that, dude. How did he die? He was on a plane that was crashing. He called me before, and he was like, you suck. I'm about to die.
Do they serve pie on the plane?
If it's crashing, I'm sure. I'm sure they do. Did you know? I think this might be a myth, but I believe that the reason why the seats more towards the front of the plane are more expensive is because if you crash and you're behind the wings, you're basically guaranteed to die.
No, in front of the wings.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Well, shows you how much I know.
Yeah, think about it. I mean, then you're in the front of the plane. You got all those
but you're
people coming
assuming
at
that
you.
every plane crash is just dive bombing. I mean, sometimes the back just breaks off and the fuel blows up, and like the pilot's like, suckers.
You're not making it any easier for me to get on a plane again.
You are probably more likely to get struck by lightning than die in a plane crash.
You know why they have you take that position, like the crash position? In the
Did
planes,
you look
right?
up? It's like you're more likely to get struck by lightning. Laura's like, oh shit.
She's like, right,
You know, stick your head between your legs. You know that position.
Kiss your ass goodbye.
Exactly. So you can kiss your ass goodbye.
Oh my god. Do you know what just came on my phone?
What?
Reported air quality in your area is unhealthy. I've got
It
a
hurt us
problem
listening.
with
Yes.
air quality. So
It went
check
from
this
moderate.
out. I'll do it right now again because I know it's going to be the same. So I downloaded the Air Now app. For listeners, everybody's got their things. Air quality is my thing. I just like meticulously look at this because everybody's lying about it. This is from airnow.gov, the air
Taste.
quality government. So I'm
means
looking at
it's real.
Sandy. You know what it said? This is the EPA's app. Right now it's the 17th. We're recording this on the 17th. If you live in Salt Lake, you look outside, they'll tell you it's fog. It's not fog.
Or haze.
Or haze. Yeah, it's pollution. The EPA app says the air quality is 28. It's good outside today, man. Wow, that's awesome. But then check this out. If I open my radar app, it says the air quality is
garbage.
93.
Yeah.
There's a big discrepancy there. and the one that's lower is the government. Fuckers.
.gov my ass.
Yeah.
Huh?
I don't know, man. Living in Utah, you kind of have to like hate the air, you know?
Oh, yeah.
You have to also accept that the government just has control over your life if you live here. You know,
Yeah, we
I mean,
can't do
fucking
anything
sucks.
about it.
Nothing you can do about the liquor shit.
I was
nothing you
about
can
to
do
buy a
about weed.
$10,000 air quality monitor to put in my backyard because I was convinced that I needed to know which particles they were because they're lying about it. And then I have questions too, like what happens when things get cold? Like it condenses. And so is it more unhealthy for people who live at the bottom of the valley than it is for people that live like in the benches?
Oh, interesting.
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah, I could see that. And then if it condenses or it freezes at night, are those pollution particles like now contaminating the ground?
Of course.
Yeah. Acid rain.
Acid rain.
I think we fixed that problem in the 90s, honestly. I don't really hear much talk about acid rain anymore.
Stop burning coal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that probably was a big contribution to acid rain.
What's that
Dude.
like? That effect when like helicopters or jets crash, and they have like a cloud that forms right above them. Have you ever heard of that before?
I think that's just smoke from a fire.
No, the atmosphere will literally like react to
Oh.
like the fuel being in the air,
Oh.
and it'll create
yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
rain cloud over the top of those sort of accidents. So like Kobe's, R.I.P. the man, he had like, it was super strange. It was a really sunny day, but right over the top of the helicopter crash, there was a rain cloud.
It's like the heat from maybe the fire like
I think
causes
so,
it creates a cloud.
Humidity.
Yeah.
I mean, think of like contrails, dude. We've had conspiracy theorists on the show that are like contrails are just the government putting things
They're
in jet
chemtrails.
engines. Chemtrails, yeah.
Chemtrail, yeah.
They're mind controlling you with the chemtrails. It's like, no, if you know anything about science, when you put, I guess that's the first problem is that if you're talking to a conspiracy theorist, they probably don't give a shit.
No.
They don't believe
Yeah.
science.
They don't care about science.
Yeah.
You compress cold air and put it through a fire that creates warm air. What happens when it comes like
It creates
it's condensation?
Yeah, guess what? Water.
And if the air's really still, it's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
just because there's a thing called the jet stream doesn't mean it's blowing at 100 miles an hour every day. Sometimes it's a calm day.
Yeah.
And you've got to be in the right spot to be in the jet stream.
That's true. Yeah.
So
What altitude is the jet stream, Ches?
it varies.
I knew he was smart. He's all grown up.
And the speed varies. So
All right.
I do kind of like that, though, you know? I like the idea that people are like, there are people out there that are that paranoid. I feel
Yeah.
bad for them.
For sure.
But I think their life might be kind of fun. Just questioning everything. You know,
I don't know. Fun seems like in the eye of the
Yeah.
beholder there, Wade. That seems a bit
It
like
might be. I'm sure some of them don't have a great time. But I don't think they're all like crazy. Some of them are probably just
For
like,
sure.
this is sweet.
Yeah.
Some
I
of them
can't
have,
wait to go to the convention.
I bet some of them have air quality monitors in their backyard.
Yo, we need to talk. They've been lying, haven't they?
okay, out of all the conspiracy theorists things have gone on these last 300 episodes, what do you think is the most bizarre that we've talked about?
Flat Earth, for sure. We did a 2-part episode on that. It hit hard. I think that was my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because it's so illogical, man. Like,
I know.
Yeah, it's so
you can see the
funny.
curvature of the Earth from an airplane. No, that's because the window's fisheye, dude. First of all, I think it'd be way
every
more.
window is fisheye to those guys.
Yeah,
Every one of them.
you're just gonna believe
Even
that
their
we
own
went to the
fish
moon?
eyes.
Even their
fish-eyed.
eyeballs.
Have you ever been to Hawaii and stood on the beach? You know,
Yeah.
you can see the curve of
can,
the
yeah.
Earth.
And I think
It
that was
is
a fun episode
insane.
too, because my dad was a land surveyor for power company, like his whole life. And I was like, "Hey, Dad, is there any chance that when you were surveying power lines that you had to take into account the curvature of the Earth?" He's like, "Yep. Here's the equation for that." And I'm like, "Cool, dude." And the guy that was the flat earther, his dad was a pilot.
Yes.
Oh my God,
Professional, like military and commercial airline pilot.
interesting.
And I think one of the discussions during that was, have you ever looked at the path an airplane takes flying from like New York to California? It's not straight across the flat map.
Yeah, there's no
You know?
like direct line.
Yeah, they kind of Yeah, you all know the Earth thing.
My favorite's the like camera that they do that video, the like viral video of the cameras they do through the 2 holes. Then he's like, "All right,
yeah,
put your
yeah.
flashlight up at 6
Yeah.
feet," and he's like, "Oh, it's so weird, I can't see it." He's like, "All right, raise it way above your head." He's like, "Oh shit, I shouldn't be able to see that."
I think is that a pinhole projector?
I think
thing they were
so.
using?
I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah. Super funny though. It's just like,
Because then it's like, where do you go from there?
yeah, you just disproved your own point, dude.
Yeah.
Good job, bro.
I don't know, man. Light behaves weird.
You
Because
told-
I think that's true with conspiracy theorists. A lot of them is that they just are skeptical and don't want to believe, you know. And it's easy
Yeah.
to find anything on the internet these days.
Oh yeah.
You know. What's your favorite conspiracy?
I was
theory
going to
that
say,
we
I wanted to
talked
bring
about?
something up with the flat earthers.
Okay.
You know, and you ask them, like, okay, well, the Earth is flat and the sun and the moon rotate the Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Then how do you explain a lunar eclipse?
I got a round piece
That's a
of
great
paper
point.
that's yellow,
And
a round piece of paper that's
go
white.
like this.
They go like this.
And I'll go like this.
everyone I've asked has come back and answered the same way. I don't know. I've never looked into that.
Yeah.
And then they'll never get back to you on why, because if I looked up why they say it happens.
They pull the Homer Simpson backing into the bushes when you ask him that.
Yeah.
He's gone. You're like, huh.
So what the flat earthers say is there is an invisible object out there in space
Oh yeah, everybody's seen that.
that that'll, you can't see it because of the sun. 'Cause it just didn't track with the sun, and it's when that's passing by is what causes the lunar
Oh
eclipse.
yeah, it's the motor that turns the papers up in the air that's invisible.
An invisible object.
Well, it's not invisible, but it's invisible to us because you can't see it because of its placement in front of the sun.
Who can see it then?
The director.
How do they know it's really there?
This sounds
Because the
like some
Earth is
Truman
flat,
shit.
so-
Yeah.
Truman
And it's
Show.
the only,
Yeah,
it's
some
the
Truman
only
Show
logical
shit.
reason.
I mean, it makes perfect sense.
Makes perfect sense, dude.
Yep.
Perfect sense.
I'm
Also,
convinced now.
Included
Yeah.
with flat Earth is the the firmament.
What's that?
It's the dome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You can't get out of
We're
stuff
living in the Hunger Games or Truman Show.
Dude,
that we
would be
can't
so
get out
crazy.
of, but aliens can get in through, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Is there an alien door?
It's like Gore-Tex.
Yeah.
Water can get out, but it can't come back in.
It's the big glass door from Spaceballs.
Yeah. Yeah.
See,
They're going to bring the vacuum over and
Yeah.
suck all the air out.
We're losing our atmosphere.
Spaceball's such a good movie.
Only
so
one man
good.
dares give me the strawberry.
I was reading a thing on the internet where somebody was asking if you could have any spaceship, real or existent or not or fake, which
Yeah.
one would you choose? People are picking Star Wars and Star Trek spaceships, but then somebody pipes up and says, "I'll take the van or the Winnebago from
Yeah,
Spaceballs."
fuck yeah, dude. With the shag carpet and shit.
That's why I like Futurama, because they make jokes like that. You know?
Yeah.
Like, there'll be a weird spaceport trailer park in one of their episodes. You're like,
Yeah.
knowing humans, we would do that. You know,
It's like
it
not
doesn't
much
matter.
has changed.
Yeah.
Just
Still
changed
people
location.
shooting at each other through their windows in space. Like, don't do that up here.
Yeah.
It's dangerous, man.
An eye out with that thing. Is Jar Jar there?
I think Jar Jar
Yeah.
is always with us.
Okay.
Always with us, trying to sell his merchandise to children. Misa, Jar Jar, free candy? That guy sucks.
He does not.
I know what I'm hashtagging.
Free candy?
Free candy, windowless van.
That
Yeah. What kind of car would Jar Jar drive?
A pod racer.
That's actually a great question.
Yeah, but it still has a horn that goes.
I think that's too complicated. I think
Yeah,
the pod racer is too complicated for Jar Jar.
Right.
No.
It's a pretty simple creature.
Saying what we're all thinking now.
I heart Jar Jar. I'm getting a T-shirt that says that.
That's fair.
Gross. But cool. I respect it.
yeah.
Everybody's different.
Thanks. That's kind.
We were talking about doing a longer episode today, and you wanted to ask everybody a question, Laura.
I did.
Yeah, you wanted to see what everybody thought their top 3 episodes.
Oh,
were or
yeah,
something.
that's right.
Yeah, what's
Yeah,
your? You got to start.
I think my favorite. I don't know if I can narrow it to my favorite, but my top 3 is getting my cards read.
Yep.
It's very personal
Yeah.
for me. Kurt's brother.
That was a good episode.
Yeah, that was a good episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I have 4. The guitar episode
Yeah, Kurt's dad.
and Mike looking like.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
Those are my
Damn,
top
that's
4.
pretty good up there.
What about you?
I mean, you took all the good ones. So.
Well,
I don't know. Like thinking back on 300, I don't know.
of course, I haven't been here for all 3.
Some of them were really bad. Some of them were really great. Other ones were great for different reasons. Like I remember I think I like the ones where the guest is unexpectedly like hilarious. You know, like Eric. We just had Eric on, your buddy.
Yeah, but that episode doesn't come out until next week.
Yeah. We recorded it. We recorded that, but that was awesome. You guys got to listen to that on the 27th.
That is a funny one. Yeah, I like that episode too.
Yeah, and it's like I didn't expect that at all. You know, I kind of thought he was quiet, and then he just gets behind the microphone, dude, and he like turns it on. It's awesome. You can't see shit, but it's awesome.
Yeah.
We'll hear all about that later.
He's legally blind to the listener, but here, listen on the 27th.
Yeah,
we get it. He's great. I really like the one we did with the UFC guy. I don't know which episode it was, but he came in the studio and instantly did not take us seriously at all. He was clowning on us the whole show, you know, and I'm like, damn, dude, he thinks that we're just a bunch of kids, you know. And it was fun. He didn't even sit in a chair. He sat on the floor.
Sit on the floor and pet the dog.
I don't know. It was like a power move, dude. Like
very interesting.
Yeah, you're gonna sit right there. He's like, okay, moves the seat and sits on the floor. I'm like, oh shit. That changes everything about today, dude.
How did you guys even mic him? Like,
we had different mic stands. We had stands like the one Kurt uses.
Okay.
Yeah, that was great. That's the thing I hated most about our studio is that we had 6 of these Rode microphones that go up into the air and obstruct your view. When we had 6 of those, it was like you had to bob and weave in here.
To talk to each other.
Now we've got these. These have their own quirks though too. You know what I'm saying? But I like these way better.
The low pro style is pretty cool.
Yeah, I can actually see y'all. Well, kind of. The light in here sucks, but that's okay.
Well, we can change that too.
Yeah.
All right, what's your other 2?
I can't narrow it down. Like, obviously, the guitar episode with Kurt's dad, cool. I did not have a clue that your dad was that legendary in the guitar world.
So fun to listen to him geek. That was so cool.
Yeah, when he was talking, it was like, that's one where you don't interrupt. You
No.
know? Like, you just let him go. Same thing with Mike Lookingland. Once he started going, it's like, dude, just go. You know, talk as long as you want.
Yeah, those are a couple episodes I had to remind myself, I'm not listening to a Rogan podcast.
Yeah, and it was,
like,
it kind of felt that way, too. Because your dad's a very quiet man, and then when he starts talking about guitars, it's like you can tell his passion. You just feel it, you know? And you know that he's like, dude, he owns the first Fender.
I know.
The first Fender,
and
dude.
the first Fender,
that
the first Fender
so
amp, dude.
Crazy, dude.
My favorite part of that episode was when you're like, how many guitars do you think you have? And he goes,
yeah. He's like, at my house?
Like,
or
he doesn't want his wife to find out. Exactly. Yeah, no.
I did not get a number. No.
Yeah, that's crazy
sure
when he's
would.
like, you don't need to know how many, just know that most of them are in museums.
Yep.
Okay then.
Yep.
Yeah, that was cool.
He said that multiple times, too.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah.
Yeah.
So cool.
What about you, Kurt?
Kurt's like,
Probably the cooking shows.
The cooking shows?
Yeah.
Dude, the cooking stuff
I would
was
say
fun.
that's going to only be the first one for you. The second one's mine.
I still had a good time.
Still throwing shade. Wow. They're fun, but there's an enormous amount of work that goes into that. And I remember doing them for a while, and just after we did like the third one, I was like, dude. And it was always, people would always be like, you need to do that more often. I was like, do you have any clue
How much
work that is? Like, it's all day. It destroys my house.
Yeah.
Like, the kitchen is completely destroyed. But then on top of that, we have to reach out to, we have to find 3 judges that are impartial to either party.
Yeah.
And usually we shot pretty high, so we always wanted to have like a chef. Like we had Taylor for one of them. And then we, had Brian, who's a professional chef, he works up at Snowbird or something. He came down for one. And then we always wanted to have one person that was just like, just a normal person.
Yeah.
Try it out. So you have the kind of the wild card. But then it's the scheduling, and you can't have the judges show up because we're trying to do a podcast at the same time. So food's getting ready while we're talking with the judges. But the judges can't see the food beforehand. And then one time I think the third one, I made the mistake of like, dude, it'd be sick to kind of live stream the prep. And then like halfway through, somebody's like, what if the judge is just watching the live stream? I'm like, oh, shit. They weren't, but it was kind of one of those things that you don't realize how much work it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like the food show dynamic has changed a lot. You know what I mean? Where the judges are kind of involved at the same time.
Yeah,
you know?
right.
Watch what they're doing.
Yeah,
Technique,
just kind of, because they're like, you're still fucking up, but we're just going to tell you later,
Yeah, that was our thing. We just wanted the blind taste
Yeah,
testing. So.
I feel you.
Yeah, we recorded a lot of that stuff too, which I just don't want to video edit, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we've got to get something out on YouTube. We're going to make some changes at the beginning of the year, but it's just the work, you know?
Yeah.
It's a
For
lot.
sure.
So besides the food ones,
Probably the one that we did with Dale McKeel and Josh Lundberg.
that was a good one too.
For your painting, yeah, that was really good.
That was crazy.
Yeah, that was fun.
Josh was another one of those people that just surprised me, you know?
Nice.
Like, just this kid, like, the way that you booked him was insane. You got the painting from Dale and you just dropped it off at this frame shop and you're like, you want to be on the podcast? He's like, sure. I thought for 100% that wasn't going to happen.
Nice.
Like, there's no way this guy's coming through. And then he
And he
comes
did.
through and the frame is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, dude, we just stumbled across this kid who really loves the art of framing something.
Yeah.
Like, he wants to own his own frame shop. The cool story, man.
Mm-hmm.
You guys can go back and listen to all that stuff. Taylor, what was your favorite episode? The ones I was on. Yeah. You've done a lot with the food stuff that we've been doing, you and I specifically, and in the background. I don't think we've ever really talked about it on the podcast, but the pasta night stuff, like, you've been involved in that, and then more recently is the ramen.
Yeah.
I went from eight regular pasta noodles made from scratch to trying to learn how to make fresh ramen noodles, which has been crazy.
We need another ramen night.
Yeah.
We sure do.
You don't know how much work those are either. They're fun, but it was really interesting doing, like, the food stuff, because it was fun when I was doing pasta night. I do it every week, and then at some point it became like this weird fad thing where everybody wanted to be there now, and I'm like, it's on a Wednesday, guys. Like, we're not.
Yeah.
It's just, and I don't want to make like a massive amount of pasta. I just want you guys to try it and tell me if it's good.
Yeah.
And then I want to adjust my recipe, and when it's done, I'll let you have as much as you want. Like, it started turning into like almost a party.
Yeah.
Like, people would be here. I'd have to be like, well, I'm going to the bar, guys, so get out of my house. You know?
And wash a dish on your way out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the other thing is cleaning
Yeah.
too. Like, you did the Friendsgiving this year at your house.
I did.
and-
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, that's a lot. I mean, everybody helps clean up, and that's
Yeah,
great. But
yeah.
then you've got cabinets and floors, and somebody randomly exploded a beer into your ceiling or something. You know?
That didn't happen.
Thank God.
But lasagna night was a rough one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of work that goes in that stuff. It is fun, but yeah, we do need to do a ramen night.
Yeah.
That'd be so good. I love ramen.
Can we have pie?
Yes.
Only if you make it.
Yes,
Done.
we can.
All right. What kind of pie are you going to make to go with a bowl of ramen?
I should make those.
Shepherds.
It's the most
No.
savory meal you've ever had in your life,
Maybe I'll
dude.
make those egg tarts again.
Oh,
Those are
okay.
good.
Dude,
Yeah.
do you know what? Speaking of shepherd's pie, when we went to, you worked at Bambara for a little while.
Yeah.
We went there for my sister's birthday, and she requested something that wasn't on the menu because she knows you. We were working there, and she's like, I want shepherd's pie. This fucking thing comes out, and I'm like, holy shit, Taylor. I was like, I was like, I know I got my food coming, but I want that now. That was great. I still show people that picture, and they're like, where do I go to order that? You know, like, people don't believe it. I'm like, that thing was amazing.
It was amazing.
Came out pretty good.
You do good work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks.
Do you probably suffer from the same thing though in that industry where like you have, because where you work now, what's it called? The place?
Edison House.
Edison House, which you can't just walk in there.
No,
That's
it's a
thing, yeah.
private club, yeah.
It's a private club, but you've changed the menu a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So is it hard to constantly be coming up with new stuff all the time?
It's yes and no. I mean, it's a lot of like mental strain to constantly be having to do like two new dishes every week for specials.
Yeah.
It is a lot of work, but I enjoy doing it,
Yeah.
so it's not difficult. It's just, or I guess it's not.
Is it challenging to get like?
It's
ingredients
challenging,
on the
but I
fly
like it.
that?
Most of the time, I kind of just go into my walk-in and say, "Okay, I'll
Okay.
take some of that. I'll take some of that."
You
and
guys
then
have somebody that buys
work with
for
it.
you.
Yeah.
Back stock and yeah.
Yeah, I could order things in if I want to,
For
you know,
sure,
but
yeah.
I usually try to just make use of whatever we have extra of.
Gotcha.
I did look at paying a private chef for today for $300. I was gonna have him show up and just be like, cook whatever these guys want.
Pie.
Laura really wants some pie.
I do.
No, what the fuck? We see. This is why we need an intern. Let's send the intern to go get pie.
Yeah, just send him to go get pie.
DoorDash pie.
What kind of pie?
Apple.
Interesting.
I know.
I don't like pie. I'm not a fan of pie.
I'm
You
not
don't
really
eat a
big
lot of
pie
sweets
guy
anyway.
either.
I don't. Yeah, I don't really eat a lot of sweets. But
I fuck with sweets. I'll crush a whole row of Oreos. Pie is just not really my thing.
it's like, but I only eat the filling.
Nah.
Well, it's weird. I don't make a lot of pie. Most of my stuff
Maybe
is
that's why you
baked
want
goods.
pie
Yeah.
so much.
Well,
you know?
I guess pie's a baked good.
I was like,
but-
wait a second.
Yeah. I mean, I just have like cookies and scones. I just made scones the other day. They were delicious.
Nice.
Lara also is one of those people like us where we like to cook for other people.
Yes.
You know?
Hell yeah.
I know that makes you super happy to cook things.
I'm
or
just
bake
glad
things
I
for
have
other
people to give the stuff to. Because
Yeah.
I want one. I don't want 30. I
Yeah.
want one.
Yeah. That's always a challenge, cooking for just one person.
Yeah, I don't know how to break down a scone recipe to just one. It'd be challenging.
Yeah, baking's weird like that because you have to be so precise.
It's very
That's
scientific.
why it's just like regular, just like cooking, stovetop cooking at home or whatever. 'Cause
Yeah.
you kind of throw shit together. And then there is like this point you hit where if you cook long enough, you just kind of you just can feel out the taste, like when your grandma's like, I don't measure anything. It's like, how'd you do that? Well, she's been doing it forever.
Yeah.
And it's nice when you hit that point because then it was like, I don't know, I want to make a barbecue sauce. And then you just look in the fridge, you're like, I got all the ingredients for that. It'll be easy, or whatever. You don't have to
Yeah.
like look up something on Google. But hey, if you're a recipe chef, good for you. Cooked off that recipe.
Hell yeah.
And if you don't like it, then change it.
Got to start somewhere. So
We're going to do, we probably already talked about this in the way that this episode is going, but we got to do that funeral potato battle, man.
Absolutely.
Oh,
It's going to happen.
sounds pretty good.
That's why we bought that trophy. That was also one of my favorite things to do in relation to the podcast is when we were doing the cooking competition. I was like, man, we just need something for it, right? Like we need a stupid big trophy. Just because like then you get something that you can have till somebody challenges you and then you win it back or whatever.
Yeah.
We walked into the trophy place. It was on like State Street, right?
yeah.
And I was like, hey, we need to get a trophy. And the lady's like, how many do you need? I was like, just one.
Yeah.
And they immediately, like, you look in the back and they've got like 300 trophies. Like everybody's Little League team was ordering trophies at that time, And I'm like, we just want one. She's like, well, what do you do? And I'm like, me and my friends just get together and compete with each other cooking. And then we get judges to judge it. And I want somebody to have a trophy. And she's like, okay. And I was like, Kurt had one. So I'm like, what do you want, Kurt? And we got this big ass. You guys have seen the picture. Big ass
It's probably
trophy.
2.5, 3 feet tall.
Yeah, it
Nice.
was $100. It was over $100, I think. for
That doesn't
trophy.
surprise me. Yeah.
And I was like, I want to be able to drink beer out of it.
I did that. I do not recommend it.
Yeah, and Kurt called it right off the bat. He's like, dude, it's going to leak through the bottom. I'm like,
Yeah.
it looks pretty liquid.
I
safe."
called it
And
too.
That's not like a cast molding, you know what I mean? That's like two pieces of plastic
not
or
like the
metal put
Stanley
together. Yeah.
Dude, and the awesome thing is that trophy store, they did a great job. And I think the lady liked it kind of because it was so random.
Nice.
Because she's like, you can get this and like have the little angel on top. I'm like, no, we don't want any of that. Just leave the thing open on the top so we can drink beer out of it. Like have a victory beer or something. She's like, oh, okay.
You're
We're
like,
there
you
with
heard me right.
Kurt sometimes has a little bit of a difficult time making decisions. So I'm like, what color do you want? And you're like, I don't know. Just pick any color. And he's like, blue? Like, hell yeah. Kurt is my friend. He knows.
Hell yeah.
He knows that blue's the best.
Blue is the best.
It's my favorite color.
Yeah. Weird.
What's wrong with purple?
Nothing.
Okay.
Sometimes I feel like
It's my second favorite color.
Yeah, purple's the best.
sometimes I feel like purple can over fancy shit.
That okay?
You know?
Yeah.
Like
Not everything is purple.
that's wow. I didn't realize that. We should have put purple foam in here. Yeah. No, but you know what I mean. Like, and then also I just think of like cool pimp coat that's purple. You know what I'm saying?
Oh hell yeah.
Leopard print.
What part of that sounds bad? That all sounds
Nothing.
great.
But it's too fancy for me. You see me walk in with that, you're like, this guy's lying.
He sniffed too much of that air.
Yes. Man, I'm breathing all that inversion or something. I'm pimping.
I don't think it's inversion they're sniffing.
But the can said inversion.
Yeah.
No, it said invert.
Oh my god.
Don't huff paint, okay? It's bad.
Or any inhalants. Don't do any of that. It's not good.
Although I will
Don't do
say,
any of that.
just try a smelling salt once. It's kind of fun.
That's different though.
yeah,
That
that's-
is. That one had to be a favorite episode of mine too. Is we had Colin. Shout out to Colin in Canada. He's a super fan from Canada. He loves us. You know, he
Nice.
loves Salt Lake City. Randomly met him and he came down to Salt Lake and he's like, I gotta be on your show, guys. He signed a bottle of Collingwood Canadian whiskey that's out there on the mantle. I think he says something crazy like he would say like bless up guys, you know. Yeah. Sorry. But he now I derailed myself thinking
Smelling
about
salts?
jokes. Oh yeah. So he obviously in Canada they love hockey, you know, and so I was like that would be a great just funny bit for the show is I'll just buy smelling salts and we'll try one on the air. We did, it worked well. But then I just had a box of smelling salts, so my infinite wisdom was like, I'm gonna take him to the bar. And then so this is the craziest shit, right? We're at the bar, all laughing, and we're like, because people have never smelled smelling salt before. It's like ammonia, and it's really intense.
Yeah,
and your
really
body,
intense.
it triggers a response in your body, like to dump endorphins, and so that's why like hockey players will use it. It gives you that little burst of energy. It only lasts for like
Not long.
like not even a minute,
No.
you know. But everybody at the bar started like, yo, you got any of them smelling salts? And I'm like, what's going on, dude? So, one night I'm there, and this guy is like, I've never tried one before, and he did the smelling salt. He's like, whoa, dude, that's crazy. And then he's like, I'll take them all. I was like, what? I was like, how much you pay for that? And I was like, I don't know. I think it was like, and then I think somebody's there, they tapped me, they're like, don't tell him the real price, dude. Charge him extra. I was like, I don't know, $40. He's all, yep. I'm like, you really want to buy all these smelling salts for $40? And he's like, yeah, man, that was crazy. I'm like, you can get them off of Amazon. And he's like, no, I want them now.
Yeah. I was like, at that point, you're not doing anything illegal.
I was like, dude, shit, maybe I should become a reseller of just smelling salts.
Hell yeah.
But I was like, really? Yeah, they gave me $40. I gave him the box. He went outside. He's like, damn, that's crazy.
Local podcast hero slows down meth epidemic.
With legal substance.
Yeah, with
Dude, maybe
illegal
I
substance.
cracked the code on that shit. They just need the smelling salts, man. Although I'm sure you can somehow
funny as
die
fuck.
from those too.
100%.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, ammonia basically takes away the oxygen, so
Right.
your body's like, I need air.
Well, it's not meant to, your body's probably just not meant either to get that dump all the time. You know?
That's true. I didn't think about that. Like, you should
Yeah.
constantly be like, just having low key ammonia everywhere in your house. Like,
Yeah.
There's my bathroom. Oh, yeah, ammonia's so good, dude. Next to your bed in the morning. Probably not a great place for
Probably
smelling salt.
no.
I'm sure there will be a great My Strange Addiction that'll come out someday.
I was just thinking the same thing. New rehab center
Somebody-
opens.
Yeah.
But it'll be like they like chewing it because the glass
Oh, yeah.
breaking is a cool texture.
Or
whatever.
jamming it in their nose or something. Yeah. You're just like, what the fuck,
Look
man?
at me, smelling salts coming out of their nostrils. Like, oh shit, he's here again. We gotta go.
And we're all going, we know the guy that started that.
You're welcome.
Taylor, you're not a wizard, okay? Damn it.
Can't fly.
Damn it.
My favorite was then people started like. Then my sister bought
Yeah,
bought
people
one
were
of them.
demanding them.
Yeah, she bought a bottle of them off of Amazon, but she went on like. It just had a bunch of words that made it seem strong, like extra, extreme, super crazy, smelling salt. And it was this bottle that you just dumped everything in, and then you take the bottle off and sniff it. That
Oh, you remember when it got spilt all over the bar?
yeah, because somebody sniffed it, and their reaction was so bad that they just chucked it.
Oh my God.
It was everywhere.
Yeah.
We're all like, whoa.
Well, just low key creating mustard gas.
Yeah, like, don't dump the bleach down, okay?
Right? Well, thank you guys for spending the
Yeah.
day, a little
Yeah.
part of your day with us to celebrate episode 300. You guys both played a pretty big part in the show, so
We appreciate it. Yeah, thanks
Yeah.
for having us out.
yeah. We're going to take another break, but then we're going to be back with more, so look
Hang
forward
with
to
us.
that.
Yeah.
Yay.
We're back. Episode 300.
Yay!
David
Damn.
Jimenez is here.
Yeah.
True supporter, man. You've always really
Yeah.
been a huge part of what we do. And you're an inspiration, man.
Oh, yeah.
You do the Taste Masters podcast.
Man.
And I wanted to, maybe we'll just start off with this with you. I saw you make a post on Instagram. I feel it, man. You got burned out there for a little while.
Yeah, I burned out in. I'm still burning out, actually.
Yeah. It's tough, man.
Yeah, I was. I think it's end of August or October. I had a moment where I had people reaching out to me wondering if I was okay because I kind of took a hiatus off the podcast for a minute. I took on a new challenge in life when I left Strap Tank to become the head brewer at Keto's Brewing in Salt Lake, and I didn't realize it was going to be daunting.
Yeah.
And in doing so, I have no time. I don't even have time. I barely have time to hang out with my wife, and don't have any time to be in social media, you know?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I had to say something. And I have a huge community up here. You got all my friends, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, everyone's like, where's David, kind of thing. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm stressed. I'm dying. Like, I'm burning out. And so if you guys don't hear from me or see from me for a while, that's why. I'm okay, but I'm not okay.
It's hard, man, to balance all of that, especially when you take on a new role, head brewer. Like, you're in charge of everything, and I think we were talking about that a little bit, that doing the podcast for like 300 episodes, it's like 6 years, and I've been there so many times, like wondering what at night, like, well, like, why am I stressing about this? Yeah. And there's been moments where I've been up at like 2 a.m. rewriting the description for an episode like 4 or 5 times because I don't think it does justice to the guest we had, and it doesn't even sound right, and I've called Kurt at like 2 a.m. I don't know what to write, dude. Like, I'm just sitting here freaking out, and the reality is like I'm just overthinking it, but you want to create a good product, and when you pile work on top of that, dude, it gets stressful.
That's where, when it goes to the podcast, when I've done, because I'll be releasing my 200th episode, 4 years, next month, but in doing so, I realized, holy shit, those 200 episodes, for the most part, they're all like great memories, like hella good memories, and that's what I'm still doing it. Is I can't forget. Like, I meet cool people. Like, if I didn't do it, I wouldn't meet you guys. I wouldn't be here. Yeah. Right. So I'm like, okay, but I don't owe it to anyone. You guys don't owe shit to anyone.
No, you're right.
You gotta realize that. Yeah. We're just having fun. Crack open a beer. Let's just shit talk. Let's just talk shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's the cool thing.
All we wanted to do today.
Yeah.
Like, let's bring some of the people on we've had before, and let's not do anything serious.
Let's
just have a beer and shoot the shit.
Congrats, 300 episodes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work that people don't understand that goes in the back end.
Yeah.
So congrats, guys. That's damn.
It's crazy, and it doesn't feel like it's been that long. But like thinking back from the beginning, like even the first time you were here on the show was totally different.
Yeah.
Things evolve and things change, but. Man, when I watched your video, like, of you talking about being burnt out, I was like, man, I feel that. Like,
but then
that's the truth.
I got to take give credit to my wife because she's trying to work on becoming vulnerable, especially in public. And I'm a very authentic person. I think. Well, I'm saying that to myself.
You are.
But,
though. You are.
I'm real. Like, I think I'm not afraid to show emotion. I'm not afraid to be myself in any situation, anywhere. And I think that's why I'm me. I don't know.
No, and you're right, dude. And I think it's admirable because a lot of people are that way. And it gets, if you're you're like me, I don't really hide any emotion or like, I just am an open book, right? And that kind of gets me in trouble sometimes too, because you're exposing like sometimes the weakest part of yourself. And then there are people that take advantage of that or people that clown on you for that, you know? But at the end of the day, I'd rather like not fake it. I'd rather just be real.
Yeah, and that's how you saw who reach out to when you were being real. People are like, you'll see the true friends come out like, hey, we got your back.
Yeah.
And if they shit talk, then I don't care. Go shit talk. Whatever.
Yeah, go ahead. It's never ending shit talk everywhere in the world. Especially like today, things get weird with like not being able to share your opinion. We just were talking with I don't know what order this will all be edited together, but
I do.
The listeners will figure it out. We're talking with Taylor about like the super highs of doing like entertainment work, and then the super lows of it. Like 1 week you have a great show, everybody's excited. You know, you feel like $1 million. You're like, this is why I'm doing this. This rules. And then the next week, like, we don't have a guest booked or something. It's like, dude, why are we doing this? You know?
Yeah.
And that's like a weekly change, you know? It's hard. It's hard to keep up with it.
Are you guys still doing it every week?
Yeah.
Damn, that's a lot. Because
It is a lot.
I was doing that, and then I'm like, nah. Because the last 3 months, I've been doing every other week. Has been kind of how would you say it? Re-releases, yeah.
Oh,
of old episodes.
Okay. Yeah,
Just leading up to, because I have some in the vault ready to go, but it's just like one of those. You know what? I'm gonna start next year because your boy needs a break.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, I
had
haven't
talked
changed the name either.
Yeah,
The monthly InSalt.
We
you know,
had
it's
talked
not gonna
about
happen.
like because I felt a moment where like the whole team was getting burnt out, you know, and like it is. Like, I do ask a lot of them too because I told Laura before you committed the show, I'm like, you're gonna have to give up your Sunday, you know. You're going paddleboarding, doing things, and you're like, I want to do it. I do want to do it, and I'm like, I appreciate that like so much. But it is a lot. And then when I felt like the team getting burned out, you know, everybody's energy is zapped. Like one person gets, if I get burned out, then everybody else is like, oh, okay, I guess.
Well,
whatever. I'm like, we should do this every other week. And then Kurt, he said that exact thing. He's like, what are we going to call it? The bi-weekly InSalt? You know, like, oh yeah, I guess we did kind of make a commitment when we call ourselves the weekly InSalt.
Yeah, you kind of shot yourself in the foot.
Yeah, we kind of did. But you know, I think that you put a lot more production effort into your podcast too. Like you put a lot of thought and pre-work into things, and we kind of run this like a live show. So I think we get off a little bit easy sometimes, but at the cost of quality. If that makes sense.
I think our shows are quality.
I think we do. I think some of the. You know how I work.
I know.
Like even if it was perfect, I'd still be like, we could be better.
Yeah,
But that's where the passion is. That's where the artist comes in. You're
Yeah,
never
totally,
gonna be
man.
happy.
Yeah.
No.
Probably same thing with like brewing beer, right? You're like,
I'm never happy.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is, it's one of those. You mentioned the word balance earlier, and that's I don't do New Year's resolutions. I only do like a one word thing. So this year is actually balance.
Oh, no
It's
shit.
funny you say that.
Yeah.
And so I'm getting burned out that yin and yang. I'm like, okay, like I gotta say, I'm gonna take time for myself. I've drawn more baths for myself the past like 3 months than I have my entire fucking life.
Yeah.
But it's so great.
It's
like I have
important.
to.
Yeah.
And my wife's like, one day, this is the best story, dude. So I was just I wanted to throat punch a small child. Like I just wanted to just throw down. And I came home and I don't take it out in front of my wife or on my wife or on my cats. But she's like, do a jumping jack. And I looked at her, I'm like, you're ridiculous. Why? She goes, you just gotta move.
Yeah.
Shut up. I was like, so mad. No, it's
not gonna
stupid.
help.
She goes, just do it. And I'm like, fuck you. And I did the jumping jack. And I'm like, oh my God. And I just like, it just came. Emotions came. And I'm like, I hate when you're right.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about being real. It's like, you just got to be real.
Yeah.
Balance.
I mean, it was not that long ago that I had my first ever anxiety attack. I'd never had one before.
Those are fun, huh?
Oh yeah. I was I was living with my sister at the time, and I was out on her deck, just bawling.
Yeah.
Like everything just felt overwhelming. It all came up at once, and I'm like, oh, this is an anxiety attack. This is crazy.
So that's I'm trying to deal with that. My job now is I have a team, and some of them are older than I am, and they grew up in the mentality of you're fine. I'm fine. Like,
Yeah.
let's say you guys were playing sports, whatever. You fell over, and your dad's like, "You're fine. Get up. You're fine."
Yeah, you're
Walk it
fine.
off.
Yeah.
That's the mentality that they have.
Totally.
And if someone says, "Hey, how are you doing today?" I'm like, "Man, I'm struggling today."
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay.
It kind of catches people off
catches
guard because I do
everyone
that
off
too. Like, how
That's
you
the same
doing
thing.
today? I'm not.
But
great.
eventually,
Oh,
your
shit.
body's if you like that's people drink to numb it, and I've done the same thing.
Sure.
I can numb it, but if you don't numb it, your body's like, what do I do?
Yeah.
And the anxiety attack's like your body's saying, fuck you, I'll put you down if you're not going to put me down.
Yep.
Boom.
You can't ignore this shit forever.
No.
Yeah.
And
And it usually is a combination of everything for me. Like work was super stressful, but then trying to like worry about the podcast, and it's different when like I have a team, like you guys are the team, right? So I care about you guys too. I worry about it all the time. I'm like, man, I need to make sure I do a good job for you guys. You know, I don't want to let you guys down. But after it all piles up for so long, it's like, it just snaps at some point.
You have a pressure release valve, and when it does hit, it just it hits.
But it's weird that we're all conditioned to kind of like, and I've heard other podcasts talk about it too. Like as men, like we're supposed to be strong.
Yeah.
We're supposed to never show
Supposed to
emotion.
be work.
You know? Yeah.
Work
Like,
hard.
We're fighters, you know?
Yeah.
That
Let's
just
do
doesn't
it.
work. That's bullshit.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's horrible advice to be like, bottle it all up. You guys are strong, you know? Nah, sometimes crying is awesome. Sometimes I'll go on YouTube
I mean, yeah.
and watch sad videos just
Oh,
so I
yeah.
can cry.
Yeah.
Just to get him out.
Just to get it out.
But sometimes you got to pony up too.
Yep.
I mean, because I think the generation now, they're too weak in a way. I feel like watching these kids, 21-year-olds working, and they're like, oh, I've been here at work for 3 hours, and it's just so.
I need
It's just a travesty.
Second lunch.
What?
Yeah.
Like, come on. You got to put some hard work in.
You got to rub some dirt in it.
Yeah,
Yeah, you have to.
Again, it goes back to that balance. I think
Exactly.
our parents were too, they don't want to talk about their emotions.
Yep.
Right? They don't talk about anything.
And now it's swung too
And
far the
now
other
it's
way.
like they talk about too much. Like, hey, can we just meet
Yeah,
in the
let's
middle?
just have the balance.
Yeah, balance.
That's good. Yeah. Oh man, speaking of balance, like your beers, dude, they're good.
Oh,
Yes.
they're becoming better. Yeah.
I was down there with Ches not too long ago, and there was a pickle beer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for the anniversary party.
The anniversary
Yeah.
party, yeah.
Kurt, you were there too, yeah?
No.
Were you not at the
No,
anniversary
it was,
party?
it was
Who
Marty.
It was our friend Marty.
Marty was there.
Kurt, where were you?
Probably working.
Oh, damn, I was late. Damn. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was a Friday evening, so
Yeah.
I was
I
probably
had to
on
miss
call.
it too. I can't remember
Yeah.
why.
Yeah, I don't remember. I was just like, Ches and I are going to this, and I think you guys just had other things going on. That happens. Kurt, though, notoriously, you are a guy that lives to work. You love your job.
I do.
I like wish that I had the dedication you do to your job, because sometimes I'm like, man, what am I doing? And Kurt's like, man, I got to work 12 hours today. Talk to you later, man. I'm like, cool. And we went to a show at the Pearl last night, and the whole time it's hip hop, so I know that's not your genre necessarily, but
Not
I thought
really,
it was
yeah.
cool. It was DJ Abilities, it was awesome.
DJ Abilities?
Yeah, Idea and Abilities was a group, but I think the other guy killed himself, which is sad. But it was cool. But after the show, we go outside, and I'm like, man, that was awesome. Kurt's like, yeah, I think I got 2 people to move over to my fiber network. And I'm like, man, you're always working, dude. It's crazy.
Can't
but
pass up an opportunity.
Yeah.
the pickle beer that we had there, dude, that was crazy, man.
Yeah, so that one was made with pickle brine. So we
Yeah.
made a pickle brine. But the next one I have is actual pickle juices going into it.
Ooh, yum.
And more renditions, the old renditions have had pickle juice. So I've gone back to the kind of the OG. I've taken ketos, and I'm trying to go back to original recipes, but then fine tune those original recipes
I think
my
it's
way.
great. Yeah.
Yeah,
Add your
it's-
little touch on it.
And that's like everyone always asks me, "Hey, what beer should I drink?" I'm like, the pickle beer, and they're like,
Yeah.
I'm like, "No, for real."
and then make it spicy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can make it spicy.
Throw some tahini in there. Was it tahini they put in there? Rim the glass with it?
It was Tapatio.
Or Tapatio.
yeah.
Yeah, Tapatio. Man, it's good. And that's one, like, I don't think that I drank beer before I met you, of course, but I didn't really think about beer on the level that you taught me to think.
Yeah.
The very first time you were on the show, I remember, and then we did your show too. And when we were on your show, it was almost better because you had a bunch of different beers.
Yeah, we did the Grid City ones.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we tried them all, and it was like, it's like a sommelier, dude. He's like, if you can really get the caramel in this.
Cicerone.
Yeah.
When you hear it and then you actually taste it,
Yeah.
you're like, yeah. And we're drinking Pacifico today. Like normally I'd be drinking a Budweiser, which would just get water, But you made me think of beer differently, man. And I think you've probably done that for a lot of people. And
that's
you've
cool.
always
Hope so.
been, the type of person too that you just want people to learn more about it,
And like
think
join
about
the
it.
adventure, join the
Yeah.
journey. That's why I don't owe it to anyone, right? But I hope I can influence somebody in a positive way.
Yeah.
And if it's a negative way, sorry.
Maybe you don't like pickles and you had the pickle beer. My bad.
I know some people that are like, "Oh, well, you put pickles in a beer."
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
It's awesome.
I've heard about beets in beers. I think beets are gross, but I've had great beet beers.
Imagine it's very earthy.
Yeah,
I
so
would drink a beet beer.
so
That sounds delicious.
Fisher does one. It's called a beet saison, and they put actual
Ooh.
beets in the fermenter,
Ooh.
and it's
Saison.
awesome. I'll
I
have
bet it's
one
good.
pint every time it comes out, and that's it.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
Are they using a pickled beet or are they using fresh beets?
fresh beets.
Yeah.
But so you get that earthy, and it has that beautiful beet pink color.
Oh.
Yeah.
It looks
Yeah.
like pink
Want one now.
lemonade almost.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but again,
That's-
it's like, why'd you put beets in a beer? It's weird, right? But
Yeah, but like with the pickle beer, like I'm sure somebody's listening out there, they're like, that does sound disgusting. But like the name almost does it an injustice because it's very well balanced. It still tastes like beer, and you're not drinking vinegar. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's really crazy balanced.
that's what my not worry, but my next batch has pickle juice in it, and so I hope that vinegar doesn't come too much forward.
Yeah,
Because all the beers I make, and it's Mikey Rydell, the guy who does a Utah beer blog, he said the best. He's like, ever since David's taken over, just know it'll be beer flavored beer at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. Yeah.
You stay true to it for sure.
Yeah, I just want to drink beer. If you want to drink, go to Swig. Go get sugar somewhere else, man. I just can't.
That's true.
It's beer.
Yeah, we've always stayed true to that. And you know what I didn't realize either is that, like, you guys are always messing around with stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have, not only do you need to produce the beer that you're hired to produce and for the brewery, but then you're always trying to push it forward.
Yeah, like I just did a new one. I released a Graf, Graf. It's from, who's the guy who wrote Dark Towers? Not Stephen King? Maybe, I think it's Stephen King, but it's Dark Towers, and there's this drink, and it's half cider, half beer. And it's, like I said, Graf. And legally, in order for me to make a beverage, that's a malt beverage, it has to be 51% malt, and then I can do whatever the hell I want the rest of it.
Yeah.
So I made 51% malt and 49% fresh pressed apple juice. So Second Summit hard cider.
Stephen King, you were right.
Stephen King?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And they brought fresh pressed juice from Montana.
Ooh.
We got 108 gallons. It was 95% Honeycrisp apples, 5% Macintosh apples, and we threw it in the fermenter. And it's the coolest beer because, well, it's a cool, fun beer.
Yeah.
Because it smells like an apple juice, and then you drink it and you get malt, and then it finishes like a cider. It's
Crazy.
so cool.
It was crazy.
Yeah, and it's just crushable. It's kind of hazy. We put Solstice malts, caramelized wheat in it, so you get a little caramel wheat, and you get that little bit of caramel. So it's like that kind of dipped apple, just a little bit, not a baked apple. Because if you put apple juice in the hot side, you're trying to cook it in the boiler in the kettle.
Yeah.
You'll get a baked apple taste, and we didn't want that. I don't want a baked apple. I want like a cider, right? And so we did, and it's been selling really well. And
we can get it now. You can get it now.
Yeah, it's available now, and we have a lot of it. And then it's available at Second Summit Hard Cider too.
Okay, yeah.
And then we're trying to get it at Scion Cider World. They'll have it here as well.
Yeah.
And it's just so fun to like that kind of thing. Where are you gonna get an apple beer?
From you.
Well,
Ketos.
Yeah, go to Ketos.
Yeah.
Like, but it's just, I did something like that at Strap Tank. We did something like that, and we did it with pineapple juice. So it was like a wassail kind of thing. That was fun.
Yeah.
It's just that's the mad scientist kind of thing where you get to create and bake and.
How long
like
does it take to make a beer?
Depends on the style. So ales, if you would have came to the tour, would have fucking taught you.
Got her. No, the tour was cool. Sorry to interrupt, but the tour was awesome because, like, you were showing us like the hops and everything. You're like, here, crush this up and then smell it, you know. And I'm like, I've never done that, you know. And I'm like, dude, now I see why it's so important, like why that ingredient means so much in creating a beer. But sorry to interrupt.
No. So the fastest I've ever made a beer was 7 days. And I wouldn't recommend that. You kind of want to baby a beer, but ales typically take between, I want to say 14 and 21 days, and then lagers take 4 to 6 to 8 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah, because lagering is where you have to let it wait and you have to let it age. A young lager, you could taste the youth of that lager. You want that kind of just, it's like a pickle. You know, if I put a cucumber in a jar of vinegar or whatever, yeah, eventually it'll be a pickle, but at what point is it a good enough pickle?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, ales are faster to turn around.
Yeah.
So a lot of breweries that have lagers, it's good for them because they have space and time. It's real estate, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't be a distiller because they sit in barrels for like years.
Yeah. Oh, I can't imagine that.
Go insane.
Yeah.
Do you taste it as you go, like to fix stuff?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, make
It's
sure.
not like you have to wait till it's done and then go, oh, this sucks.
That would suck. That would suck so bad if, like, 6 weeks later, I'm like, oh, this is dog shit. Nah,
Wasted
I taste
all the
it.
ingredients, everything is shit.
I don't really like to taste the beers when I first cook them and put them in the fermenters because they still taste like sugar water at wort, and they have that like cereal kind of. It's just sugar water to me.
Yeah,
But once
yeah.
the yeast got a hold of it, you can taste the fermentation, and that's where I'm like, okay, I like the life of this. I see where it's coming. Because sometimes when you're tasting it, you can find a problem. Like, oh shit, maybe there's an infection or there's something, and you're like, if it's a dangerous thing or something that's important or it's not fermenting, then I got to bring in more yeast. Anyway, yeah, I taste it.
No, you're
all.
right. Yeah, it's like a science.
Yeah,
100%.
And we do a coconut stout at Keto, so we just won Utah Weekly, whatever, City Weekly. The best stout in the city or whatever. And I'm like, not in my opinion, but as I'm tasting it, I'm always breaking it down, going back to like, I'm not happy with it though.
Yeah. It's like
But if
they can
people
always
like it,
improve, you know.
all right.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think that's a healthy thing because as like a professional, doing that, you always want to push it forward, and there is always going to be changes. It's good, yeah.
But since taking over, like I'm going insane because I'll be driving and I'll, subconsciously I'll be doing my own routine, and all of a sudden I'll be like thinking about malts or like prices of malts, and flavors of malts, and hops and yeast, and then my wife. Then I'll also be home. My wife's like, "How's your day?" And I'm like, 350 pounds. Like, what? I don't know. Fuck. What did you just say? Like, my boss, I feel so bad. A lot of my coworkers and my boss, they'll come up to me and ask me a question, and I will look at them like deer in the headlights going, I
was not listening.
Okay, I need to finish what I was doing here, and then you can ask me the question. I just feel so bad.
Yeah. And that just means you care,
Yeah.
You're always thinking about that, and I think it's some, to a degree, a good thing.
But that's where when I turn it off, I turn it off.
Yeah.
Like I like on the Apples you have the do not disturb. Like I'll push that button and I'll put my phone away. I'll only have my phone for like music.
Yeah.
But then that's when I'm taking a bath, like no one fucks with me.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to breathe. I've been doing a lot of yoga this year. Yoga's been very meditative, very helpful for me. But mental health, I think, is so huge we don't talk about, and especially in my industry. A lot of my colleagues, they're just, when they're done, they'll drink, and then they'll drink until they feel like shit in the next morning, and then they'll have coffee to recover, and then they'll drink the coffee until they are, caffeined out, and then go back to drinking. And sometimes that's the negative aspect of our career. Yeah. But and I'm like, guys, it's okay to like not drink.
Yeah.
It's okay to like tell me what's going on. It's tough because again, we don't want to talk about our problems.
No, nobody does. I think because everybody kind of feels like, I even still do it. Like if I have a really bad day, it's like, don't worry about it. Like I'm good.
I'm fine.
I'll handle it.
That's my new thing. I'm fine.
Yeah,
like I want to smack everyone. Yeah. You're not fine.
I'm fine.
It's okay not to be fine.
I'm fine. Yeah, it's totally okay.
But it's impossible to be fine 100% of the time. It's just impossible.
Yeah. Like even if we were talking the other night with somebody about, even if you have a job that you love, at some point in your life, that's still going to be a job. It's still going to be work. You might love it still, but not as much that day. Because even like, I'm sure somebody out there is like, oh, head brewer, like that's my dream job, dude. How cool would it be to just make beer? Like he's probably out in the brewery just like slamming beers while he's working and stuff. That's so cool. But the reality is there's still work behind that.
I have this video idea I wanted to do where it's like you see my face, and then it's like what a day like in a head brewer, a month of a life of a head brewer. Yeah. And then we'll zoom into my eye, and then we'll see like all these chaotic things that are going on, and they'll zoom out, and then you just see my eye just twitch. That's it. Because I wish you guys could see inside my mind. Not that I have a hard life, but everyone who has I feel like upper management, I give credit. I've never been this high in a company before where I look back at my old managers. I'm like, oh, you were dealing with way more than just my bullshit. Yeah. And I feel bad. So I feel more empathy for people who are stressed as managers.
Yeah. Let's take a quick break. Yeah. We're kind of running behind schedule. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back. Back after another break, episode 300.
300. Yay.
Congratulations, y'all. We haven't killed each other yet.
Close.
You killed one.
Fair. Here with David Jimenez, head brewer at Ketos.
Yeah.
And just general badass, if you ask me.
Thank you.
So what's in your future, man? Like what are you experimenting with right now when it comes to brewing beer? Yeah. Do you try to keep it seasonal? You're not gonna do a pumpkin spice or something?
I have to do pumpkin spice, unfortunately. So
yeah, it's all right though.
Yeah, that's the caveat of being a production brewery. I have to do those beers that I don't want to be. Anyway, but new beers. I'm trying to fine tune those beers that I'm taking over, and I have some cool ideas coming out. I have some New Zealand style beers coming out. I have new lagers I want to release, and I want to start getting. Once I get that rhythm, I know by next year, so the beginning of next month, I'll be able to find my stride where we're all on the same page, because I'm trying to cross train everyone. Yeah, I'm sick of this whole mentality of like you have a CEO or like a boss and then peons. I'm like no, like we're all on the same page, and so. I'm trying to teach everyone who knows how to brew. I'm trying to teach everyone who knows how to brew at a can.
You're building a team.
I'm trying to, yeah. I call it the family.
Yeah.
So we're a big family, and like I said, it's okay to have a bad day. If you have a bad day, if you need to excuse yourself, then fucking go. If you want to do the 8 to 5, great, awesome. But if you need to go home because you're just not feeling it, cool. I don't micromanage adults. Sorry.
Yeah.
You just come be here.
Everybody
right?
has a bad day.
And so exactly,
Yeah.
and I mean, I've had those bad days where I look. You know, we talked about the anxiety attack. I've had 3 panic attacks in my entire life. One was my first time going to yoga because I was like, oh, I gotta slow down, and I panicked.
That's crazy that you had a panic attack at yoga.
Yeah, it's the funniest thing ever because I left that class and I got in my wife's Prius. I drove straight to the gas station, grabbed the tallest beer I could and chugged it, and I was just shaking in the car.
Yeah.
And I went back and picked her up. She goes, "What happened?" I'm like, "Oh, well, I had a panic attack." She's like, "At yoga?" I'm like, "Yeah, at fucking yoga. That means I need yoga." And anyway, and then 2 of them I've been at since I've been taking over at Ketos, just because it's just I'm trying so hard to. Yeah, I have to be the mouth. I have to be an example, a mouthpiece. I'm trying to work hard, and I'm trying to establish that family role. And to me, it's so beautiful. I think making beer, what I do as a craft, is a passion, and I just want everyone to be on the same page. And I wish there was a clone of me, because then I would have one more, like, okay, 'cause there's so much I have to do.
Oh, yeah. And then also feel more responsibility, I'm sure, for the team, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to let them down.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out how to lead them, because not everybody leads the same or reacts the same to leaders. So.
And, how I lead, I guess, is I lead by example. I've always found that when I found leaders that are leading me and they're showing me how to be, I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll follow you. I'll follow you all day long. And you treat me like a brother or a sister. Yeah, family.
Yeah. Just
so
let it work.
Beer, got new cool ideas. Like I said, since I took over the job, my goal at Ketos is I just want to leave Ketos better than I found it. I don't want to I don't care to make award-winning beer or like world-renowned, change record books. Like I don't need it. I just want to make it better though. I want people to be like, oh shit, Ketos is tasting good now.
Yeah.
And for the podcast, I want to keep going, but it's going to become, instead of doing it every week, which I was doing for almost 4 years straight, it'd be twice a month.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I don't burn myself out, but I still have so many more cool people to meet. There's awesome people doing great things out here. And so, yeah, I'm still going to do the 2 hats, but then next year, so I told you guys about my New Year's resolution is a 1-word thing.
Yep.
So next year is discipline.
Okay.
So I don't know what that involves, but that's what my psyche's telling me is what I need. So I need more
self-discipline or
just discipline.
Just discipline.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got to be
one word.
One word. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Discipline. Yeah. So I'm going for that. But that's in the future.
Yeah. I'm excited for what's coming next. Like, you've always done a great job with your podcast.
Thank you.
And the community, just with the brewers in general. You know so many of them. And I know they all love you. Like, I don't even have to ask them. I know that they're like, David, dude, he's my guy.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
And keep it up, dude. You're doing great.
And that's the thing about, supporting other podcasts and sort of supporting other people doing what we do is just, there's passionate people doing this. And so they should be heard. They should be seen. And I just wish I could showcase everyone. I'm just glad I niched down to beer instead of just everything, all things.
Yeah, that's kind of our curse.
Yeah.
Is that we are the Seinfeld of podcasts. We just do it all. But I kind of like that in the sense of, like, I want to have conversation with people.
Yeah.
I don't want people to feel like they're being interviewed. I don't want people to feel like, oh, I need to be super nervous. It's like, no, just come talk. Sure, because everybody's got a different story to share.
Yeah.
I think that's super important. And then also
everyone wants to be heard.
Building the community, because like you said, there's tons of passionate people in the Valley that do podcasts, and the more that we can help each other, the better, I think.
Yeah, because I said this a long time ago, but one of my dear friends, she took her own life, passed away, and I always thought if she could be heard one more time.
Yeah.
I don't think I would solve anything, but I'm like, everyone wants to just be heard. I'm like, I don't care who you are. If you want to come talk to me, I'll listen. I got 3 seconds.
Yeah.
It's like, just come talk and you want a beer?
Yeah.
You want coffee?
Just vent, let it
You
out.
want a Dr. Pepper? I don't give a shit what you drink. Like, just talk, man. Let's just be human.
Yeah.
We all have our own. Everyone in this room, we all have our own hardships, and we all have our own challenges and battles and family dramas and daddy issues and whatever.
Course,
but it's
man.
like, do you want to talk about anything else?
Yeah.
I'm listening. You know what I mean? Like, fuck.
Yeah, dude. People
That's
don't do
podcasting,
that,
man.
Not
it
everybody
is.
feels like they have a voice, though, or they're afraid to use it.
Or they don't want. Yeah,
maybe.
they
I
don't want. No, I'm not interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's been a huge thing with this podcast, because doing it every week, booking somebody, I've seen like the big Bubba. He's a big black guy, like a bouncer at a bar, loud, crazy, and he wanted to do the podcast. He got in the car with me, and he didn't say a word. I'm like, man, you doing okay? And he's like, I can't do this shit, man. I'm nervous as hell. I was like, you'll be fine, dude. You're just talking with us in a microphone in front of you. We're not Joe Rogan. Nobody's actually going to listen to this. Thank you guys for actually listening.
Yes, thank you, listeners.
But it's hard sometimes because people don't believe that they have a story because you live it all the time.
But once you get that individual comfortable,
oh yeah,
they will open up and you just sit back and watch.
Yep.
And that's why I'm going to still do the podcast is because when I get those moments behind these artists and these creators, they just start opening up and you build that friendship. And it's like, thank you so much for sharing this with me.
Yeah, and to them,
I just so happened to capture it.
They're like, didn't share anything special with you, but
to me, it was like,
you did.
You just made my day. Thank you.
Yeah, that happened with Kurt's dad. He's a huge guitar history person. Like, I didn't know it. Very well known. I'm like, man, you've been holding out 6 years. We haven't had your dad on the show, dude.
It took a lot of convincing.
Yeah, and his dad's super quiet. We got him down here and started talking about guitars, and he just goes. And it was one of those times where you could tell that the passion came out. And then you just shut up. Yeah. I was like, I don't want to interrupt anything. You just keep going, man. Yep. Those are easy days at work.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful, though. And those are the stories you want. Anyway.
And it like that was a very particularly good episode because I'm like, not only did we find something amazing and really have that moment in the studio, but now that's preserved. Like your dad talked about his passion and his. Like we're kind of part of his history now, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And you captured it. So let's say when he does pass away, and you miss him, or you want to talk to him, or you want to share that story, you have it on there. And before my friend passed away, I did a couple episodes with her, and every once in a while, I'll just throw it on to hear her voice and just crack a couple tears and be like, "Fuck yeah, it's good to hear you." Love you. Is.
That's like that kind of gets a little bit weirdly deep. It's like, this is why we podcast, and people don't. We never talk about that side of it with doing podcasts. It's like the work part. It's like, you guys sit in the studio once a week, but no, there's the work. There's like we think about it that way. Like we're cataloging something. We're getting like this. We're recording something. A lot of times, like you were saying, Laura, it's not for anybody else really. It's for us.
Yeah.
But then people listen.
I've met so many cool people doing this.
Oh yeah, that's the best part.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had guests reach out to us afterwards, thanking us for letting them come on, and it's like that was just the greatest like therapy session I could have had.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting me just come in and
we
talk.
could charge way more for guests.
Exactly.
Yeah, you actually give away beer. That's all matters.
They should be paying us.
But it really is though. Again, going back to like therapy is sincerely, I just want to be heard.
Yeah.
And everyone does, but they just don't want to admit it.
Exactly.
Well, there's a lot of people that don't want to listen either. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of people that's like, nah, I don't care about you or your problems. I don't want to know, but whatever. So they don't listen. But, I mean, when you're working in a team, like you're saying, it's important to listen. And like you said, I think it's, don't micromanage. If you're not feeling it today, then just go. You feel it tomorrow, man. Whatever you're dealing
I need
with,
you tomorrow.
Cool. Yeah.
I need you when you're going to be present.
Yeah, I need you when you're going to be, at least... Yeah, not 100%, but like well enough to do a job. Yeah, can you at least give me like a B-?
Yeah,
that's all I ask. I mean, C's get degrees, I guess. But like, if you're acting like a D or F, I mean, then go take time for yourself. But come back to at least go get some sleep. I don't know. Go get a burger. I don't know. I don't give a shit. Go smoke I don't care. Yeah. I really do. Go smoke a bowl. I don't care. Just like come back and like just be here.
Just get your head straight.
Yeah, please do whatever you need, man. And some of the people I work with, they don't understand that. They don't understand. But if I go home, I don't have anything to do. I'm just gonna not make money. Stupid. That's when you need it the most. Go do yoga.
Yeah, dude. I'll go do yoga with you, man.
Yeah. So I like doing the hot yoga too. Hot yoga is even tough. More tough.
I like saunas and I like stretching.
So hot yoga, I think, is my favorite. But you need to you'll be soaking wet when you're done with it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we had the guy on there who done.
You used to go do yoga.
I used to do some yoga, but we had the guy on there who did. It was over 1,000 days straight.
He was going for
hot
the
yoga.
World record of doing hot yoga.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's probably thin and skinny and like.
Not yet. I mean, he lost over 100 pounds.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
That's too much hot yoga. That's too hot for me.
But no, he lost over 100 pounds, and he told us this, when he was on the show. So. But yeah, he's still I've still got more to go, but but it's been great.
Yoga is one of the toughest things I've ever done. It's extremely challenging.
Yeah. I'll tell you what's even more challenging than yoga: water aerobics.
Damn.
Low impact though. Save your joints.
Yeah.
It might.
And you can wear a thong while you're doing it.
Exactly.
Dude, sign me up.
When I was in college, I was taking a weightlifting class, and our weightlifting instructor also taught water aerobics. So towards the end of the semester, she's like, "Hey, if you guys want, we can go to the pool, and I'll put you through a water aerobics class."
You got your ass kicked, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'd been working out multiple times a week. I was in really good shape, and I'm in a pool of
Chest
water,
is just ripped.
just pouring sweat in a pool of water.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Damn.
Like the first thing she had us do, like jumped into the dive pool. She's like, "Okay, you're gonna do like a running motion, and that's all you can do is just like you're running. And you got to go across the pool and back 3 times."
Yeah,
It's like, yeah, it gives you respect for like water polo players. You know what I mean?
oh,
Yeah.
man, that shit's hard.
Yeah, like not only are you out of breath, but you can drown. That's crazy.
Yeah, death.
Yeah.
Damn.
I wouldn't do that, man. I like swimming; it's great, but no, I don't want to exercise that too much. I'm lazy. You know? David, thank you so much, man.
Yeah,
for
guys.
coming.
Yes,
You've
thank
supported
you.
us for so long. I really appreciate it. Go check David out. Go to Keto's. Have a beer. Go get the pickle beer. It's
Go
really
get the pickle
delicious.
beer.
I want the pickle beer now.
Yeah, what
It's
is the added
so
there?
good.
the most hydrating beer in Utah because electrolytes.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe you can change the name to like Pickle Light.
Pickle light. It's funny you say that. I use my light beer, my Ketos light, to make the pickle
No
beer.
kidding.
Oh, funny.
Yeah.
It's like
So
Pedialyte, but beer and pickles.
It's
Maybe
a
you
good
get
beer.
the BYU football team instead of having pickle juice to have the pickle beer.
Yeah, could you imagine?
Oh, jeez.
I would love that. It'd humble them
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, thank you, man.
Yeah, guys, whatever you need, like I said,
Yeah,
anytime.
definitely.
Yeah.
One day we'll do a live show. David will be there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sign my ass up.
All right, we're gonna take. Oh no, we're done.
We
We're
are done.
Yes.
We're done with the show.
We're done with the
Which
show.
is really weird to say, especially because you guys are right there. What I just referenced, you've already heard on this
Yes.
episode. Yeah, episode 300, guys.
Congrats,
We
guys.
did it.
This has been your weekly insult.
The 300 more.
Oh, no, I don't know about that. 300 more? I hope
To the next 300.
rebrand by that time.
1 week at a time. 301.
301.
301's already in the books.
I know.